They have the biggest testicles relative to body size of any male on the planet.
Hey everyone, Slayer here to introduce Nasty and Friends from BDC Studios, a podcast where two friends who met in the Army Reserves get together and talk about shit. One's a firefighter and the other has a funny laugh. So sit back, get rid of your kids, and hold on to your because it's about to get nasty, friends.
Welcome to Nasty and Friends with Pag Nasty and Spicy Motherfucking Brown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nasty and Friends podcast. I'm Spicy Motherfucking Brown. I'm sitting here in BD Motherfucking C Studios, and it is season 3, episode 59, and I am sitting across from my main man, Pag Nasty.
Good to be back again as always, sir.
Sir, it is good to be back indeed. Like I said, I'm Spicy Brown. I'm here with my motherfucking man, Pag Nasty, and we do have a special guest with us today. You want to introduce the guest, sir?
He's a returning guest, as always.
Yep.
Same introduction as before. It's the bottom of the barrel, guys.
Yep.
So this is what, your third time?
Third or fourth. Yeah.
Third or fourth
Jesus.
time. Everybody, you know him as the Degenerate. So yay! Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for welcoming.
We'll edit it out. We'll add applause.
Yeah, could you? Please clap.
But yeah, you're back. This was planned. We didn't have to call you last minute and then cancel you when you got here. So shit's gone down. But yeah, episode 59. Like, how are you feeling? Where are you at right now?
I feel great, man. It was something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. Getting back in here with you two sexy motherfuckers.
Oh, shit. No, I mean, like, physically and mentally, how are you? Could you pass a field sobriety test right now?
Absolutely not.
Right.
No.
What about a rectal exam? Could you pass that right now?
Well, I guess there's only one way to find it.
Hit pause.
But yeah, man, like I said, it's great to be back. We got some stories, and do we have any like housekeeping, anything we got going on before?
Well, we do have some YouTube going on.
Oh
in the
yeah, that's right.
As per SOP, and Spencer picked it, and you want to explain that and why you picked this?
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that we welcomed Pag Nasty back into the fold, wanted to make him feel comfortable. So I went ahead and put on amateur firework compilations, something he's a huge proponent and fan of, especially the cell phone footage of fireworks. It's just something that I know he's real passionate about, so I wanted to really welcome him back into the studio today with it.
Being a real cunt already, all right? I appreciate that, though. I hate it, obviously. It drives me nuts.
I would like to get into that for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
From a few different angles, and so why do you hate it so much?
I just don't, like, it's, like, I love technology, it's great, and I'm on my cell phone way too much, but I just hate, like, I feel there's people... And the thing is I just put myself in their position. Like, I wouldn't enjoy something behind a cell phone or through a cell phone. Like, I just want to enjoy it. So I'm just projecting is all it is. But I'm just like, I just don't like it because it's just weird to me. It's a weird thing if something happens or some major thing, everybody's just standing there. I just don't like the way it looks.
Right.
Like, it's weird. But again, I mean, I do. I'll take pictures when I go places, but I don't know. There's people like... sporting events, anything. It's just all the time. And pictures are good or stuff, but just like the recording, because you're never going to, especially fireworks, you're never going to rewatch them.
No.
I don't know anybody who does.
No. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. This was July 4th, 2007, and that was that purple star cluster.
Yeah. Just one for the ages.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it. And
I came immediately upon seeing it.
Yeah, it's just something when I see it, I just like in my brain reads it as that doesn't look natural to me.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. I mean, it's the same thing as when you go to a concert and everybody's recording it because nobody wants to see that footage.
It's the worst.
I don't want to see your blurry, out of focus video footage, especially because the music's so loud, it's not even really audible.
You can't even hear it, right?
It's just static.
Right.
Nobody wants to see that, and I feel like that's especially what Snapchat's pretty much comprised of anymore. Anytime there's a big concert, you can just guarantee.
I've recorded one thing at a concert, and it was because somebody asked me to. I went to go see Jay-Z when he was in Lincoln, however many years ago. Ooh. And my manager, when I worked at Verizon, she loved Jay-Z, and she was going to go, and something came up, and she couldn't. She wanted to see this one song. She goes, will you just please record it? So I did it. I took it to her, showed it to her, watched it. I think it might still be on my phone. I don't remember if I've deleted it. Never gone back and watched it. Yeah. So it's just weird, you know?
Yeah, no, man.
And you gotta worry you can't bounce up and down.
Yeah.
I don't know. it's crazy, but that's the way it's going. I mean, if it's already like once I'm able to get it implanted into my head, then then it's whatever.
Yeah. So it's amateur fireworks, amateur
Concerts.
concerts. How do you feel about amateur porn?
I mean, I do enjoy amateur porn actually, but it's because they're doing it for a purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It just
like
seems real.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, what about yourself?
Oh, it's the best, right?
Yeah.
It's the best, right?
It's definitely.
Where it's like, I know you're just doing this because you needed to pay the rent, kind of. Yeah, that's the stuff that I really like to get off.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
And don't overact.
yeah. It's
Overacting's the worst, especially in porn.
It's the same thing with like, you want real shit. So if it's like you get a fancy rap video with a nice director and it's fucking 1080p, but you're like, oh no, this is real shit. I'm in the streets. It's like, no, you're not. You're in a fucking studio. The same thing with the chick. If you got a director and there's a storyline, it's like there's no storylines in real life. People are out there fucking. And you might really be fucking the mailman or the electrician or some shit, but it's not that in 1080p, and it's not that. There's fucking kids in the background crying in another room, and shit's grimy. You know what I mean? Believe me.
We've talked about it
used to
before.
be an electrician.
That's the shit you find on X videos.
Yes.
That's that dirty
That's
shit.
that dirty
Yeah.
shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, spit on me stuff.
Exactly.
The real shit. For sure, man. Do you guys think that like the people filming fireworks and concerts and shit, just say the last 3 years, is it getting worse or better or the same?
Like the amount of
People doing it.
Oh, it's getting more and more people are
Okay.
doing it. Of course. Yeah, I see it for sure. Absolutely. Because the thing is, like our kids are going to grow up like with cell phones. Like, like Grayson always like wants to grab them and, they play on tablet stuff. That's the way that the culture's going.
Yeah.
Which again, it's fine. So so there's definitely going to be more and more people, which we've talked before, like how I like my age, I love that I grew up analog into the digital world. I think I love to see that. I'm glad I wasn't born in just the digital world. I'm sure I would definitely have a different outlook.
I consider myself lucky growing up in an environment where you didn't. If you would have had cameras, they would have been fucking gigantic. And you would have known if people were filming you. You know what I mean? Like, there was not every single person had a camera. Cameras, like, I love that. There was shit that I don't want
Exactly.
on the internet.
I mean, you couldn't even imagine. None of us would probably be where we are now.
Oh yeah, no,
I for sure wouldn't.
No, you would. People would kill you because of the footage.
Yeah.
So
No, and I see this shit a lot because, so working part time, I work at the arena, and I work at the ballpark, and I work as a medic, and so and a lot of the events I go to, I'm obviously signing up to work them. This show, I don't even know what this is, so instead of watching the show, I'm walking around, I'm making sure people are okay, and I'm watching people, which is sometimes more interesting than the actual show.
right, yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, I see how people react to certain things, and yeah, I see cameras all the time, or phones, cameras all the time. People like just fucking enjoy it, and I get mad too. I'm like, enjoy the fucking moment. Like,
Yeah.
let's just watch what's going on.
But it's weird. I feel it is weird to feel like that because it's not us. Like it has no bearing on us. You know what I mean? And like obviously they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I find I know it's annoying that I get annoyed, but like it's just like ugh.
I think I'm the opposite way. I do not take enough pictures.
Yeah.
Like but Camus takes pictures, so we're good. But like, yeah, at the beach or something like that. Like I probably in San Diego, I might not have taken a picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Camus, at least I know she's taking pictures, and I think I took a couple, and then I'm always like, hey, send me those pictures. She never fucking sends me pictures. I'm like, and then I'll be like, hey, I wanted you to send me that selfie with all of us in there. And like maybe you didn't have a signal or something. She's like, oh yeah, I'll send it to you. Still hasn't. It's like, she's probably like, you know what? Use your fucking phone. I don't know, but I'm the opposite. I don't take enough pictures, but at least for right now, I remember memories. I live in that moment. I'll eventually forget all that shit, and I wish I had more pictures.
Yeah.
I don't fucking take pictures of everything.
I've really gone like anti-phone a lot here lately because I've noticed like when Grayson was born, I took like we did the monthly picture until he was like a year and all that, and then with Dax, it's just like we haven't done one. I have like 33 pictures of him, but I'm like already on my phone enough, like doing whatever. And
I'm the same way though. I'm like, I take probably more pictures than probably both of you.
Yeah, for sure.
But if it wasn't, for their mom, I would actually probably go as far as saying if you go back and look at the pictures, it's gonna look like I raised the kids by myself because she takes all the pictures, and so she's never in the pictures because she's taking them all.
Right?
Dude, dude, you take fantastic pictures, man. Like I follow you on the gram, and like every time you take, and I love all those.
Oh, it's scripted that way for sure, which I love. Like we'll just be sitting at home chilling. I'll be watching TV. I'll just get a random text from him. He's like, "Bro, my fucking Instagram is so fire." I was like, "Yeah, it is, prick." But it is great though. But I love because to me, like. That's a proper use of Instagram.
Yeah, you and Taylor,
you show the best of your life.
Yeah,
that's it.
But I mean, what kind of camera are you guys? Are those phone cameras, or are you just?
Yeah, that's all just always my iPhone for the most part.
Portrait mode.
Portrait mode came in clutch, but I'll tell you, we took this huge vacation earlier this summer down to like the Southwest, and so I had my phone, but I had also brought a pretty nice professional camera that my mom has spent tons of money on.
Okay.
And
Do you know what kind it was? It was
it's
like a Nikon one
with all kinds of different lenses and flashes and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, the main reason that I wanted it is because we were going to go out and do kind of like a stargazing out at Bryce Canyon National Park, which is, if I'm remembering correctly, the darkest national park in the continental U.S.
Okay.
And one thing that I always thought was
It's
cool.
the darkest. Like there's more black people there.
It's in the heart of Mormon country. There are no black people there.
Yeah.
But
By design.
Something that I always thought was cool was when you see like astrophotography, right?
Yeah.
So when you see like the galaxy, stars, and things like that. So I brought this camera out and I was so stoked for it. And the second we got there, I go to grab it and I go, oh, I fucking forgot the tripod. So then I got so upset that I just put it back in the trunk and never used it again because I was like, that was like the big thing that I had wanted to use it for. So then everything else just came off of my iPhone.
But it's great, yeah. You just do like your vacations and like foods and shit like that. So
I mean, what I try to do is I try to break it up. It's like, you might get 2 or 3 pics of my kids and then probably a vacation or sometimes we'll do like food posts. I try to like not blow up Instagram with like 30 different food posts. I try to like put them all in one, like, hey, we went to Chicago, for example, here's all the cool shit we ate. Or when we go to like the Southwest, we put it all together at one, because nothing is more infuriating when somebody is just blowing up your timeline. It's like, don't you know you could put 10 of these pictures in one post?
Yeah. I like the organizational part of that.
Yeah.
The way that's
100%.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's completely different than taking pictures of a family on vacation. Is completely different than taking pictures of fucking fireworks when you're drunk at night. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. You're like, wait, so is it okay or not to take pictures? Listen, there's pictures are great, man. They're memories. They're great, and when they're well done, you know what I mean. That's fucking fantastic. But yeah, there's no when or not to fucking snap a picture. You know what I mean?
Insane. Speaking of your vacation, you should tell him what the guy told you about outer space with the stars.
Oh, yeah, man. So, okay, so a couple of things here first. So, obviously, we're out in the middle of nowhere. It's dark as shit. We're high as fuck.
You're around Mormons.
So allegedly there's Mormons in the hills.
Yeah.
But so we're high as fuck.
Yeah.
And so the guy that was running this thing, he was super cool. You could tell he was super passionate about it, which made me enjoy it even more. Because you know how that's kind of how weed works. It's like I get invested in people. I get invested in events. And his passion really amped me up.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I'm just hanging on this guy's every word.
Which is the best way to be.
And I'm like edge of my seat.
Yeah.
This dude's got like a PowerPoint about space.
But you were like looking forward to this anyway, because you had like told me about it before you even had gone.
I just thought that would be something that would be cool to see. For example, Lincoln's not like a huge city, but there is so much light pollution that there is a crazy noticeable naked eye difference when you go from someplace like here to someplace like that.
Oh, yeah.
So I was always super stoked for it, and plus I knew that I was going to take a bunch of edibles for it, and it was going to be like this come to Jesus moment with like the earth, and it really was. It was amazing. So I'm literally hanging on the edge of my seat on every word this nerd's talking about, and all of a sudden he's like, hey, so I'm going to show you guys a couple of binary star systems. That's where a star is orbiting another star. And I was like, whoa, man, that's pretty cool. And he's like, yeah, wait till I tell you about the other solar systems where one of the stars imploded and became a black hole, and then the star orbiting it imploded and became a black hole. And I said, hold on, man. Did you just fucking tell me there's a solar system out there with a black hole orbiting a black hole? And he was like, yeah. And I, honest to God, have not stopped thinking about it. I mean, it keeps me up at night. And I just think about it like nonstop. I'll be sitting there trying to, do my taxes, and it's like that fucking black hole.
How crazy!
Fucked you up, man.
Yeah, it did.
Fucked you up.
Yeah, it's amazing.
For better or for worse, or as far as for life.
Oh man, I don't know. I think it really made me appreciate space more, because I know we've talked about this before, space or the ocean, which is crazier.
Yeah, and I always said space for a long time, and I get like what you're saying. It's like the ocean is here, and we still don't know. And yeah, you might have swayed me back and forth, but it's still like when you told me that, now I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
like,
I might be flipping too, to be honest with you. After that nonsense,
It's space. I just watched this video just a few days ago, and it talked about different size stars in reference to planets and whatever. And so it started at the smallest ones, and then it got bigger, and then I didn't know any of these after they got to like our galaxy.
yeah, it's like a 2-minute video, right?
It's 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, I know the exact video. It's great. Yeah.
So it's real, small, and Earth, and then Venus, Neptune, whatever. Then they get out of our solar system. They're talking about other suns and moons, and the scale gets bigger and bigger, and then it starts backing away, and it shows light days and then light years, and it shows different galaxies, and it's numbers you can't count. I mean, I'm not a numbers guy anyway, so after 30, I'm like, whatever. But anyway, big numbers, and you're like, it's infinite. It looks like they could tell right now it's infinite.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they're
simulation.
They're able to show like you could travel the speed of light for 130 years, and you're still not even halfway of where we can see. You know what I mean? Like, how is that?
Yeah.
So, it's incredible, man. It might be forever.
Yeah, and if I remember right, that video, doesn't that start on just like some people sitting on like a stoop or something?
You're way off, bro.
No, and then zooms out?
I think that's the one I was.
That's a different one. We
Okay.
on different videos.
Okay, but no, I know the video that you're talking about, but yeah, I just might be mixing it up because I've also seen one that does that, and it's like this is bigger than this, and it goes out.
I haven't seen that, but that sounds interesting.
Okay,
I'll definitely watch it.
Okay, but this one I've seen, it does like the Earth thing, and it gets to the sun, and then there's this one, and then it goes. The last one's like your mom. It's like a setup for like a minute of the video, but then it's just
This
like
is really interesting. They're like, wait, Mom?
Yeah, and it's a really like photoshopped out, just like big, really fat person.
Okay.
Like, dude, have you seen that one? They're the best. It's so great. But yeah, to get back to it, it's just creepy and weird and shit. So I love it. I love it all, man.
Science, man. I'll say this, and I'll fucking say it all day. Science is real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's 100%. There's no fucking hocus pocus or believing or faith, and science is fucking real and it's proven. All right?
Facts.
I don't know why I had to.
Hey, man, when you're passionate about something, you're passionate about something.
I know you just needed to get it off your chest, and now it's out there.
People are like, wait a minute, what? What's he talking about? And I try to watch, a lot of that stuff and listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I got his, book, Astrophysicist for Dummies, or not for dummies, but for whatever. It's termed something else. It's for dummies. The book is called something nicer than that, but yeah, I love all that stuff. It's all fascinating to me. The ocean is fascinating to me too.
Yeah. I love. You ever follow on Instagram like Discover Ocean and like the stuff that they like put on there,
Not
man?
them,
It's
but different ones like that,
it's so like creepy and weird and shit. Sure, it won't be long before we kill everything off in that thing too.
Like 10 years. And my daughter, she's in high school now, and she wants to be a marine biologist.
Oh,
She's
really?
serious
Dude,
about it,
that's great.
So, yeah, man, she loves the ocean, and she has no idea that we're at the end of time. So it's like, hopefully she doesn't hear this, but like, by the time she graduates college, like, there's not going to be probably anything even living in the ocean. It's just going to be syringes and trash. So she's going to spend like like $100,000 of like our money, and then it's to be a janitor in the ocean. So I don't know. I'm not gonna tell her that.
Yeah. You
She's
can't
a
crush
kid.
your dreams or anything
You
like
look,
that.
you
so-
look in a kid's eyes and you see purity and you see
Yeah.
hope and you see all these things.
Yeah, and you hope we can turn it around.
Yeah, and you're like, no, there's no turning it
it's
around.
right.
You're just like, oh, that's cute. You know,
Yeah.
you really have faith in people
Yeah.
in the ocean.
Yeah, that's cute, honey. Thank God I'm almost dead. I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, it's the end of times.
End of time.
Get your fucking bunker dug. Get your MREs and your survival kit. These are fantasies.
It's go time.
College? College? Seriously?
Really?
We're practically a civil war.
Yeah, you should be out there doing blow and sucking dick, baby.
Oh my god, that escalated quickly. Did it land somewhere in the middle, maybe?
Never. It's end of times.
Yeah, I was thinking
I'm
more,
telling you, if end of times, that's what I'll be doing. Doing blow and sucking dick.
Yeah, I was thinking more like you're taking like hand-to-hand combat classes and shooting and prepping, but no, that's one way to deal with it. Just give up. Whoa, we got way off topic.
Oh my god.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, do not take pictures of fireworks. All right, that's what this is all comes
That's
down
what we're getting at. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not even fireworks on TV.
They're
It's like,
blowing fish. They're fishing with dynamite, I think. Or
that's some real redneck shit.
Yeah, that's white people shit for sure.
oh, and then like what's frustrating too, like just at work being a fireman is we'll hop out at runs and it could be nothing. It could be somebody passed out on the side of the road.
Yeah.
This person outdoor adventurist or there's different terms from now, or it could be a car accident or a fire or whatever, and people are just filming. Like we're hopping out of a truck and it's like 30 people like filming with their phone out. I'm just like not making eye contact. Like, God damn it! Just I don't focus on that. I focus on my
you
job.
can't. That's gotta be just that. Do you feel like there's any like added extra pressure because people are filming to? No. I mean, I don't feel like you can't focus on that.
I always assume we're being recorded.
Right.
At this, and we don't fuck around to the, we have fun and we say shit, but we even being careful saying stuff unless we're in the back of an ambulance with someone we assume. So in cops. And I love it. They have body cams now, and I love the body cams because it protects
absolutely.
everybody involved, including them, including us. But it took a while to get used to it because we were fucking around, and then it's like we've had cops like years ago, a few years ago. Now we all know, and we can see this big square on their chest, but they like. Oh yeah, you got a body cam. I'm talking shit. But and then people and you just assume like the worst case scenario on like social media wise, not like worst case scenario was friends dying, shit like that.
Yeah.
Like social media wise is being on like CNN or Good Morning America where firefighter Spicy Brown gets caught like spitting in a guy's face who's having a heart attack. It was a joke. It was supposed to be funny, and then by that time, it's like they don't think it's funny.
Yeah,
and then, like,
context
take shit out of
people.
context. I spit in his mouth. Like, so what? Like, you do that.
But in general, public opinion on firefighters is still pretty good.
You're goddamn right it is. Thank God.
It's not the same thing as like when the police.
No. It's good.
Firefighters aren't burning people alive.
If we were burning people alive
Allegedly.
because of their skin color, we would have. Like, it is, man. I think about that all the time. When I first got out of the active duty military, before I joined the reserves, I was looking at police work because a lot of my training was in weapons and tactics. And, outside of those skills, there was nothing. It was C student, high school, Army infantry. Okay, you climb ropes, throw grenades, you shoot. Yeah, it wasn't like. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that was it. It was like cop shit. And I wasn't even thinking about firefighters, but I was thinking about it. And then a lot of the cops I know, they are not happy. There's a few I know that are happy. A lot of them aren't happy. A lot of them are like, man, I wish I would have joined the fire department. And we roll around. We're doing work and we get waved at.
Hell yeah.
And they're, oh, hey, kids, people visit us all the time. Hey, can we look at the, you know, these kids, just the other day at work, they brought us a big sign from their school with all their handprints on it. And they're like, hey, you know, we wanted to give you this. We thank you guys for what you do. Can we tour the station? Anytime anybody's welcome. There's somebody there. Let's run a run every day of the year, 24 hours a day. Come on in. We'll show you whatever you want to see. We never have a problem with that.
Yeah, I know JPEG's like she just had like a new coworker that wow, I'm fucking up that sentence. Jesus, let me start over. JPEG's has a coworker who like they just started working there and her husband is a cop. And so they had like a pool party and we went over there and I was talking to him and I was like, hey man, I was like, do you enjoy being a cop? And he's like, eh. And I was like, how long have you been doing it? He's like, 8 years. He's like, I mean, it's a job. He's like, there are parts I enjoy, but I just think like the side, you know, that we see of it, they just like all the fucking paperwork. I would hate to definitely do that. It's all that shit, and then nobody likes you, and it's a job that nobody should have. Nobody's qualified for.
No.
But
and you know, I was talking to Camus about it. Like if and cops and people always say like this is the toughest time to probably be a cop, and I don't know about that. I think there's just more supervision. Like there's a closer eye because of so many bad cops in the last few years. I think body cams are helping people knowing that there's like I think for a long time people are like, no, they're cops. Like they're fucking cops. There's no way they could do anything wrong.
right.
They're cops. And then you go to like any police station and they have locks on every fucking locker. Just like, you know what I mean? Like because cops will steal shit too. Like, oh, that's a nice fucking flashlight, Bob. Like, that's my fucking flashlight now. They're just like anybody else.
yeah,
They have to lock up everything, you know, just like we would. And there's bad cops, just like there's bad cops, there's good cops, there's greedy, there's racist, or, you know, there's, I think a lot of them are people who were bullied, and now they're like, well, I'll show them.
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Fuck
absolutely.
this. You know, you want to make fun of me? Like, guess who's in charge now, bitch? You know?
But kind of like you said, right? There's good and bad in probably every
profession.
But why do you think that we don't like? I don't ever, just like you said earlier, right? We're not seeing firefighters really negatively in the news.
Yeah, but like the way that you see it is like firefighters are a lot. Yeah, I mean they probably are, but they're a lot less hands off, like with people directly. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously you have like
no, we don't have that same authority.
Yeah,
like,
that's
we could
true.
go into a bar and be like, hey, listen, there's supposed to be 300 people in here. There's 500 people in here. It's a fire hazard. Empty the place out. And if we do that, like cops come, seal exits, they count. That doesn't happen a lot. But that's as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
Like we don't carry guns. We can't arrest people. We can't plant evidence. We can't shoot people. We can't. We don't want that. And it's gonna sound like.
You think it's probably the authority part of it? Is it? Because I was gonna say you guys don't have more like direct contact with them. But
No. We have just as much contact with the general. 80% of our calls are medical calls.
Okay.
We go to domestic violence. We go to overdoses, domestic violence. We go to all that shit. We interact with family and people all the time. But it sounds like I'm fucking. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing cops.
Right.
They're there to help. We're there to help too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hey, listen, what's going on? Hey, calm down. Like, hey, we'll separate. Like, what's going on? Hey, calm down, breathe. Hey, we're trying to help you. And we get in altercations. We get in fights. People on drugs, and we have ketamine. We have other ways to try to handle stuff. Before you could push ketamine, you have to subdue people and get them on the ground. A lot of times the cops aren't there. We have maybe at least where I work, we have training for people with mental illness.
Okay.
People with, and we try to we have to de-escalate. Mm-hmm. We roll into a house, and people are crazy. Sometimes it's a fire alarm. We just went to a fire alarm. A lady said there was smoke and fire coming out of a vent in a high-rise building, and then we get there, and she's like, "What the fuck took so long? I got this smoke coming out of here. We got this big ass spider back here. It's just crazy." I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You know what? Where's the smoke? And you don't believe me, motherfucker? What's your name?
Yeah.
I'm recording you. It's like, hey, look, calm down. We're here to help you. We're in full gear. Where's the smoke? And then we start asking. Then you get kicked out. We have to de-escalate.
Yeah.
Right? as a fireman, I have a badge. I can't be like, hey, look, put your fucking hands up. Let me put your hands up. Get on the ground. Get face down. Oh, you want to get arrested? You want to get shot? We can't do that. We have to say, hey, look. Put the baseball bat down. We're gonna relax. We have to de-escalate.
Right.
Where cops, instead of be like, well, I got a busy day. I don't have time to de-escalate shit. So guess what? This gun's coming out right now, and guess what? The body cam's off. You want to fucking start sucking dick, or you want to go to jail? You want to go home, or I need a nut. Somebody's getting shot. We can't do that. We de-escalate. Yeah. And that's a joke. That last part's a joke. We have to de-escalate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where cops, sometimes they're like, oh, you're going to do what I say, and that's it. Like, we're not talking, we're going to fight, or whatever. Whatever their mentality is, they're hyper-aggressive sometimes. So we train alongside the city police. And they don't get enough training with people with mental disabilities, or people who are schizophrenic, or people with severe trauma that from rape or childhood abuse that don't listen to authority, or are scared of the police, or they don't get enough training with that. So it's like, oh, either listen or that's it. It's over. You're not fucking fuck you. And for us, we don't have that option. We just look, man. Look, calm down. Look, it's gonna be okay. Why you? It's never like, what, you're gonna fucking listen now, or that's it.
Do you have like one that like really stands out as to was like just like super crazy and like?
No, it happens often.
Yeah,
it happens really, really often, and sometimes it's mental illness. Sometimes it's cocaine, or alcohol is probably the big one. But there's methamphetamine, and there's K2, or you can call it K2 or bath salts, or any of those, like the Gorilla Pimp.
Yeah,
I brought the Gorilla Pimp on here. He was a gigantic man. And we fought him with our hands. And we ate 6 of us, and it was a draw. So I mean, he was a big, gigantic man with Gorilla Pimp tattooed on his chest, with the devil's motherfucking son-in-law tattooed on his arm, and he was high on K2 and 6 on 1, and it was a draw. Jesus, I think he died, but rest in peace. I'll never forget the Gorilla Pimp.
Yeah, for sure.
What's wrong with your friend? Oh, he's just had a couple beers. We're like, what the fuck? No, he did it. Seriously, what happened to your friend? I don't know. He just had a couple beers. He's turning into the Incredible Hulk, and he's attacking, and now we're all on a limb and holding him down. And oh yeah, later on, like, oh no, we were smoking K2. Like, oh, okay.
Whoops, my bad, guys.
But we roll into for fire, we could roll into anything. You know, we could be like, hey, my wife's having chest pain. Can you come to the house? We show up at the door, come in the front door, and we could run into literally anything. There's crazy people all over the city. That's most of the people we deal with. You know, a lot of there's true emergencies. A lot of people we deal with are drug abuse, overdose. We go to overdoses every day. Yeah. Multiple. Every day. Man. That's I work in the low income, not the whole area I work in, but the projects, low income housing, recovery, a rehab center, and a homeless shelter. So we run into drug addiction and poverty, and we run into all those things all the time. We run into people with mental illness, and we run into people with alcohol and drug issues. So there's always the threat of violence, and the police, we could call them, and we need to expedite police. We're getting threatened. That just happened just the other day. Fucking, I'm not even gonna get into that. It's fucking cholo, man. I won't get into that. But anyway, we're way off topic. Let's hold on.
Yeah. Before we move on, I need to know if you took care of that lady's spider.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a great question.
That was a great question. So we actually went to this apartment twice that day. Once in the afternoon and once at like 3:00 in the morning. Came in as a fire alarm. So we have different tones, medical, like car accident stuff. Fire alarm is like the warble, get your heart rate up. Not what you want, but that's what happens. Oh shit, let's go. We get there. Me and my captain were the first ones at the door. It was in our territory, just down the street. What's going on? It's like
this was the first one.
It's the first one. It's like the 8th floor. We're looking at the windows. Go up. Take the elevator. You're supposed to take it to the 6th floor. Yeah, we got a feeling this is bullshit. We'll take it up to the 8th floor. If it's a problem, we'll get down in the elevator. Whatever. We're not going to the 6th floor. It's not a. We would, if it was bad, we would see fire shooting out the 8th floor window. We take the elevator to the 8th floor, go to the apartment. No smoke, no fire, no heat. Knock on the door. What's going on? I got immediately like aggressive, angry. It's a lady. I got fucking smoke and fire. They don't fucking listen to me. I've been telling people about it. Well, what's going on? And I got this big ass, the spider, this, like, well, what's, and then, oh, you guys are fucking making fun of me? What are you smiling for? You guys are fucking, starts yelling. What's your names? Oh, now I'm recording. And then, well, hold on, slams the door. All right, call for police, call for chief, knocking on the door, hear yelling, hear her on the phone. And then I'm like, well, obviously it's canceled. There's 3 engines coming, another battalion chief coming, an ambulance coming. Well, we'll cancel all those. We will handle. We just need, we need police. Finally, and we're outside. I'm sweating. You know what I mean? It's warm out. We got tools, full gear, air pack.
Heart going 1,000 beats.
So let's go talk to us, sweetie. What's going on? We're here to help you. And then my captain's like, hey, just go in and see if there's anything in there. I'm like, okay. So after she opens the door again, she locked the door, slammed the door. So I go in there. I'm like, hon, what do you got going on? And I honestly try to be like, hey, there's people with mental illness.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. Yeah,
I know.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? You're paranoid. You're angry. You're pissed. I don't take it personal.
Right. Yeah.
Try
absolutely.
to reassure you, like, hey, look, hon, we want to help you. I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
Like, what? Sometimes with drugs and alcohol, you could be as nice, or mental illness, you could be as nice and try to be as. Doesn't matter. Like, fuck you. What the fuck? They might see the devil or whatever. So
yeah.
I'm probably not that nice, but I'm like, hey, sweetie, what's going on? Here, let me come look. I'm like, what are you pointing at? She's like, right there. Like, wait. And I don't see where it points. I'm like, no, where? Oh, you think this is fucking funny? And now I'm like, look, and so now she's screaming, like close. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay. So now I have to turn my back on her and leave she's right behind me screaming, and I'm waiting for her to like throw punches. I'm in full gear. And I'm like, so if she punches or hits me with something, like I have a helmet. It's not going to hurt that bad, but I don't want that. That's right. Not what, and she didn't throw any punches.
Well, that's
but
good.
She's fucking screaming at me. Like, get the fuck out of here, you piece of fuck. Like, I'm like, okay. Like, where the police, they might be like, you don't fucking talk to me like that, Especially back in the day, like, what do you got? What are you reaching for? Next thing you know, I'm reaching for the boom.
Definitely. So what happened the second time, like at 3 a.m?
Oh, fuck, man. Same thing. We recognized the address. I think canceled units en route still had to go up, make contact, told the police. The engine went up. The engine went up at night. We stayed outside. Then we're like, hey, we were here earlier. Remember, this is, And they went in and they handled, and we went back into service.
Okay.
So I didn't see her again. I haven't seen her since then. This was a month ago.
Well, that's good. She's just having a bad episode or something. Shit. That sucks, though. I mean, that's a lot of people moving around. But I guess it happens. Mm-hmm. So it's insane. But, so if people don't know, like, I would say the biggest story and the one that like we bring up often here from the Degenerate on the podcast is that you fucked in a closet, which is one of the classics. It's one of the classic bits. It was one of my favorite moments in Nasty and Friends podcast history. But I think pretty much if I remember right, like that just went on, and there's like an ending to that story, right? Like.
With that girl?
Yeah. Like how it ended?
Yeah.
Because you and I got to talking about it after. I was like, dude, that's a fucking great story. And
yeah, so I mean, we dated for I mean, a while after that. I don't really remember how long, but
Going to different houses, fucking in closets.
No. Well, so actually, when we started getting kind of towards the end of the relationship, I remember telling her, "Hey, look, this is it. We're done. We're breaking up." She was like, "No, come pick me up." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So
my dick heard that. So
I went and picked her up, and she was like, "You're not breaking up with me. Let's go to Blockbuster." For some of you listeners, you used to have to go to this place to rent videos.
Yeah.
And so I'll never forget this because I just think about this all the time. But so we go in there and she's like, "We're getting Mean Girls." I'd never seen Mean Girls. I think it was probably pretty new.
Yeah. So
I'm like, "Yeah, all right, man, whatever." So we take it back to my house, we watch it, and the second the movie ends, she's like, "All right, we're breaking up." And I was like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck? Did you just use me to watch Mean Girls, and then that was it?"
Like, did she make you pay for the movie?
Oh, of course. And so I was just blown away, and I was just so mad. I was like, "That's cool, whatever."
Right. I mean, good on her though.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Baller move. I took her home. We obviously broke up, so we were done for. That was it. So I didn't see her for a long time, but just randomly, I had to be. This is after I'm already graduated from high school because I was all in high school.
Right.
So this is when we're graduated. I'm probably like an adult at this point, and
Allegedly.
And so I remember we were at the bars one night, and me and actually Twitter Fox.
Oh, hell yeah. Shouts
Fox,
out, man.
Shouts out Twitter Fox. Yeah, me and Twitter Fox ended up at this, quote unquote after party. We're sitting in this basement, we're eating De Leon's, and out of nowhere, I hear this noise from kind of the back corner, and the door opens, and a girl falls out of it, and no shit, it was a closet, and it was her.
Oh my god!
And I was just sitting there trying to process it. Obviously at the time, my first thought wasn't, "Hey, we used to fucking closets."
Yeah.
It was more like, "What the fuck just happened here?" Because nobody was even reacting like this was a weird occurrence. Okay. And Twitter Fox is,
So
she kind of fell out of the closet. It looked like maybe she was trying to come out and then just fell onto the floor. And then she just literally got up and got some French fries, I think. And,
shit.
And then she went back to the closet. And
was there anybody else in there?
No.
Yeah,
that's a great question. No. There was nobody else in there. And so, Twitter Fox over here, he's zombie.
Yeah.
The glasses have migrated to the tip of his nose, so he's not coherent at that point. So I can't rely on him to try to help me validate what I just
Yeah.
And so I kind of look at the
typical.
guy. I look at the guy that lives there. I go, "What the fuck was that?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I don't know. She just sometimes crashes here." And I was like, "For how long?" He's like, "It's been a couple months, actually." And
just
then,
in that closet.
In that closet. And I was like, "All right, man, we're getting the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
Fox, wake up. And, we got out of there. And that was, I think, really the last time I ever saw her.
Oh, my God. You fucked her up so bad in the closet that she literally can't come out of the closet.
No, man. No,
like you fucked her so good in the closet. Like now
she
closets
never wants to
is
leave.
all she knows. That's her home.
Yeah.
That's her happy place.
Dicked her down good, man. Congrats, dude. That's great. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
I did not realize how many closet layers there are to this lady.
Right,
well, and that's the thing, because that's the thing that I love about Nasty and Friends, because obviously your guys are the ones who kind of pulled out that connection. I would have never processed that train of thoughts like that if it wasn't for this podcast.
Well, that's what we do. We're out here doing God's work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just pulling meaning out of life.
We're like therapists.
Yeah.
We're like priests. We're like therapists, except without the rape. And then we're
allegedly
therapists. We're like doctors. Yeah, we are doing.
Yeah,
we're doing work. You're welcome.
Hey.
You're welcome. I do that when you said that, like that. One of your favorite stories from our podcast history. I 100% agree, man. That for me is epic. Epic, man.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Have you fucked? A couple follow-up questions. Have you fucked in a closet since?
That's a good.
Since
question.
the story and then since the last podcast. Like since it happened and then since.
Yeah, I have, But it's not as sexy as before because now it's because we've got kids and we'll just try to fuck where we can hide.
Yeah, smart.
So it's
Ninja
not,
sex.
it's
Ninja
not
sex.
as exciting as it was before. But I don't think there's like a pattern there. It's more just like I'm an opportunist.
Yeah, it sounds like a pattern. But
It's definitely a pattern.
there's a bathroom. There's other places.
Yeah.
Other places you can lock doors.
Yeah.
The closet doesn't even lock.
Yeah.
You cannot lock the closet from the inside.
No. It's childproof. You can't do that. Unrelated news, I also put on like a scream mask. It's just
Yeah, for your costume.
it's a whole thing.
What'd you think about Mean Girls? Did you like that?
You know what though? No shit. That movie's actually fucking fantastic.
It's a pretty great movie.
It's actually
it's
super
pretty
funny.
Yeah.
I have a couple of movies, 3 movies I can think of that if I even see that it's on TV, I'll watch it no matter what. It's Dumb and Dumber, The Replacements, and Mean Girls.
Yeah.
It's just such a funny movie, man. It's one of those movies that I would have never watched had it not been for that.
For getting dumped.
So I'm kind of thankful because it's a pretty good fucking movie.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Peak Lindsay Lohan.
Oh yeah, no shit. Right?
I saw part of it. I wasn't impressed, but maybe
I don't
go
feel
back.
like that movie is up your alley at all.
yeah.
I don't think you would appreciate it for what it is.
I watched it with a chick a few years ago. And it's you'll like it. It's Tina Fey and Lindsay Lohan. I don't remember who else is in it. It's like, yeah, that sounds good. And I started watching. I was like, this is fucking dumb. Like, we're not finishing this. But I would give it another chance. If you guys said it was good, maybe I'd give it another chance.
Yeah, I still don't think you would like it. I don't
can't
think you
really
would
see
like
it
it.
I know what I like.
Yeah.
If I watch 20 minutes of a movie, I'm like, I'm not going to like this.
Yeah,
And
I don't think you'd enjoy it, like I said, for what it is.
You know me. I'm a movie critic, man.
Yeah.
I know what I like.
Yeah, it's a pretty big cult following, that movie.
I know
Like,
it's a big movie, and
Yeah.
I hear about it, but yeah, maybe not for me.
Yeah, I've seen it, I think, just once, just to say that I've seen it. I
really?
enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't really watch a lot of movies. Like, we were talking about that earlier. Like, hey, have you seen this? Like, I know of them, but I never watched it. So
You been watching anything else, Spencer?
Oh man, like TV wise or
Both movies, TVs, Netflix. Maybe Netflix is a
oh
good
man.
one.
So actually, I think we might have even talked about it last time I was here, but I think it was Harris, right? That promoted that Big
Mouth. Yeah.
And that show, I gave it a shot after that podcast, and that show is absolutely hysterical.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard nothing but great
Yeah,
things.
They just had a new season of that come out, so I just finished that up. Did we talk about The Boys? Did I ever try to get you to watch The Boys yet?
You did. Oh, that keep going. It brings me to something else.
Okay. I don't know, man. It's kind of one of those things. I was kind of talking about this earlier. In the past, I used to be able to watch so much TV because I kind of have like this insomnia where I just can't sleep, so I can get through so much Netflix. Well, that went away when I started smoking weed. So now I go to bed at like 10 o'clock and it's just out. So it takes me
Like an adult?
that needs medication to sleep. Basically,
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But so I don't get through nearly as much.
Hey,
on
I'm
Netflix
in the
or-
same boat you are. So,
So
the
it's been
exact
tough.
same.
We're actually getting super behind on a lot of shows, and we're quitting on a lot of shows just because we don't have
Well,
time.
I think that's probably fine.
It
I
is.
mean, because the thing is like if you really wanted to watch it, you'd stick
exactly.
with it. So.
Exactly.
Sure.
Movie-wise, I can't really think of anything that we've just been watching a lot of stand-up lately, really.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stand-up and TV. Now we're kind of in that, like, hot season for TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fall season.
Going to stand up too. 'Cause like I said, J-Pags and I, we went to Burt Kreischer and saw him, which was the same hour that we went and saw.
Oh, yeah.
Which again, and I love going to comedy. Going to like live comedy is my favorite thing to do. But I love going to a club like so much better. Like it's great in a theater, especially if it's a smaller theater. Like that's
gotta be
great.
a
I mean, they do
smaller
have like better seats, but like when we went and saw Burt, it was great, and I still almost threw up from laughing. Like he still killed. He absolutely killed. But it's not as personal, and I really like that personal touch to it.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, because like we went to like just Miss Pat,
Yep.
Yeah, we can get into that weekend. That was a freaking great
That's one of the
weekend.
best weekends. And we just saw Tom Segura, but we saw him here at the Lead, which obviously isn't as intimate as like an improv. But
Right.
It still kind of felt like it.
Yeah, it's still smaller. That would be like I said, like a smaller theater. Like that would
It's different when you
great.
go like to the arena, for example.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
we like for actually a perfect example, we saw Tosh when he was here at the Lead a couple years. He came back later. He was at the arena. We went and saw it, and it was not even close to the same feeling at all because it was serious, way up top, and it's just you were just watching it on the TV at that point, and so it wasn't really the same experience.
Plus the echoes and like they have to pause and wait for the like the speakers and the applause and
and it's different. And like I said,
different.
you see any comedian that's headlining theaters, you're gonna laugh regardless for sure. But it's just not like
it's intimate.
You just want to. Yeah, I just love that intimate. So, so we were. It was great because we were gonna go to NASCAR in Kansas City. It was on like Sunday, and I was just looking. We had just some like Groupon tickets that we had bought. We were just looking to see like when JPax and I could use them. And it was for 4, and I saw that Miss Pat was gonna be there the Friday before NASCAR, and him and Tifa were already gonna come down. And the thing with Miss Pat was when you took that vacation, he's like, do you have any podcasts? I go, hey, do you know who Miss Pat is? And he goes, no. I go, listen to this. I go, you will laugh your dick off. I go, she is so hilarious. And so I sent it to you, and it like saved part of your trip.
Yeah. So I mean, we took this amazing vacation, but because one of my kids had some obligations, we had a pretty tight return schedule. So we ended up having to drive back from Monument Valley all in one go. It ended up being like 16 hours. And right about mid-Colorado, we ended up getting stuck in this construction that was never ending.
Yeah.
And we turned on Miss Pat, and that was kind of the one thing that got us through that construction without me losing my mind because she was so funny.
Dude, like, she's just the fucking best. Like, her personality is so great. And so, so I called you and I said that she's going to be there. I was like, dude, can I call you first of all? Because I was like, it's just too complicated.
Yeah, which only usually happens when you have either really good news. It's like we're having kids.
Right.
Actually, I can't think of any other time. So it's usually It wasn't as alarming as if like Justin's like, hey, I gotta call you.
Right. Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, we're definitely two different people. So. But yeah, and so I was just like, it's just a lot easier to explain. So I said, hey, I think I know your answer, but I just want to let you know we have these tickets, and I was looking, and Miss Pat's gonna be here the Friday of NASCAR, and you go, yes, like right away, like just no hesitation at all.
Oh yeah, and I couldn't believe that it worked out like that.
Yeah,
in the first
so
place.
perfect. So perfect. And so I was like, yeah, let's go. And so we went, and like she's like, I knew she was gonna kill. So we get there, we go out to eat, and it's JPax, myself, UT Ferger, then a co-worker of JPax and her husband. And so, which we've gone to comedy with before.
Yeah.
Like we went and saw like Burt Kreischer with them and stuff. And so we go there, and we get there. I think doors open at 6:15. I think we're there like at 6:20. We get right in, and we're sitting at like center stage, right there, and it's like there's some row, I think 2 rows in front of us,
maybe a couple of tables,
but I mean it's like 30 feet away or something like that, and she's right there, and I was like, dude, this is perfect. And so we start going, and just like, what were your thoughts on the show? I'll let you, because we pretty much have the same thoughts.
Well, I mean, adding even kind of an additional layer. So we listened to that Miss Pat podcast when we were in that construction, and T-Ford also just became obsessed with her. She's that's that funny. So she actually has her own podcast too. So she ended up getting through all the episodes before we went to see her. And then we get there, and she looks it up, and she's like, oh, my God, the opener is one of the dudes that does the podcast with us. This guy's absolutely hysterical. So she was even, like, I think she was even more excited than I was.
Yeah, probably the most excited. She was so excited.
But, yeah, so her opener was amazing. He had one of, I think, the funniest jokes I've ever heard in stand-up. Just like, and it felt so natural. And, and sometimes I feel like those openers can feel kind of stiff and rigid, but this guy was just crushed. And he had the room. He was working the room, and he was making it work. And so then, because he was so good, when Miss Pat came out, the momentum was already in her favor, and she came out and had me in tears within the first 2 lines.
Yeah, dude. And so like I knew. So if you don't know, Miss Pat is black, and so like the crowd is the crowd is it's a pretty, like, I'd say diverse crowd. I mean, there was people from all ethnicities, and it was great. I love shows like that. And so, like, I knew she was funny. I knew I was gonna laugh. I knew she was gonna make me like piss myself. I was not ready for her.
Shit.
When I mean, dude, I'm telling you, I almost threw up. Like, I'm not saying that. I literally almost. I had to stop and go. I'm going to throw up because she came out and like swung and it was a home run. I don't even remember what she said. I just remember dying laughing within like the first like 5 seconds, and she did not let off the gas at all. Damn. And it was great because there was a couple that was sitting like near the stage, and it was a black guy and then a white girl, and so she like bragged on them, and she's like, are you two together? And the girl's like, yeah. She goes, welcome to the family. You know, you're gonna start eating food, you're gonna taste spices. Like, it just started, and like she was not real happy about it. So like Miss Pat like doubled down on shit,
which made it even more enjoyable for us. I love to live in that like uncomfortableness.
Yes. Dude, it was like, she was fantastic. She's a must-see. She might be the hardest I've ever laughed.
I agree.
Like,
I can only imagine, just because like seeing her on TV, and seeing her in like on podcasts, like on Joe Rogan, her energy is crazy. She seems like somebody who would be just as funny, like having a like prepared stand up, as just being in person. I bet she's just as fucking funny in person. Yeah. Man.
Oh, dude.
She looks funny. Oh, you can just tell when somebody's gonna be funny not by looking at them. Like,
she's had a hard
life, man.
Yeah, and there's one part that like it gave me chills. So she was, I don't remember what she was talking about or whatever, but some guy that was like down here just started barking off, and then like she said something to him, and then he said something back, and she just planted her foot. She's like, I'm more nigga than you. And then it just like shut him down. And like I got goosebumps because I saw it. Because like if you don't know, like she was like starting at the age of 6, she was like molested from like 6 to 11 by like, I think it was like her stepdad or somebody. It was like her sister. She never told anybody. Yeah. And then she had, you know, a kid at age 14.
Yeah, by an older man.
Who was married. And then she had the second kid at age 15. She had to start selling drugs. So she is like knowing all that, and when she said it, and it came from a place, and it shut him down. I still think about that because I was like, damn.
And she's raising kids, like her sister's kids.
Nieces, crack babies.
That's
right. Crack baby.
She has to be in charge.
It was. I think like when she said that, I grabbed Jen. I was like, woo! Dude, I just love it, man. Just knowing, because I don't know that life at all.
No.
And you know, to see it, and then like the jokes. Fantastic joke writing. I mean, not only is she funny, like it's like just brilliant the way that she would set something up, and like I've said it a million times, I love the science of comedy, and so seeing it. And one of honestly the most complete shows, the guy from Kansas City who was hosting it, the MC, he did really good. The feature act came up, crushed it, absolutely crushed it. And then Miss Pat just gas nonstop all the way through. One of the best. I think we walked out. I still thought about it every day since. That was like a couple of weeks ago. So, but
it was amazing. It was amazing.
I think it's crazy to you can't. You could try to imagine a life like that. You know what I mean, to be abused, neglected, and so you have like neglect, like you didn't get, but on top of that, you're being actually attacked, assaulted, abused. To grow up, like that's what your life is. Like you're an object, you're a piece of shit. You're to grow up through that, live through that, and then it continues in other ways and all that. You battle all that, and now you're successful, and you turn it around. Yeah, and you're happy about life. You're making other people laugh. Like,
she was saying this was her third set of crack babies that she's raised, and she calls them crack babies. These like her nieces, and like she's like, I'm blessed. I never thought, you know, telling people about my life, and make this. And she has a new show coming out on Hulu, which and she gets like, it's not edited, so she gets to cuss, she gets to say, you know, everything. And like I hope she just blows up. She is a absolute fantastic person.
She's gonna be on the Degenerates too.
The season 2's coming out. She's gonna be on it.
That was great.
It's like her, like Jim Norton. I don't. Those are the only two I can remember, like off the top of my head. But
I'm sure the show's going to be good, because I think the way shows are going, I think for a long time it was like, you know, producers are like, hey, this is what the people want. We know what the people want.
Yeah.
And now they're realizing like, you guys have no fucking idea what the people
Yeah.
want. These kids on YouTube know what the people want. They're doing like comedians. They know what the people want. Like, so now like and I don't know what I watch movies more than TV. When I do watch TV shows, it takes a long time. I gotta have like 10 people be like, "No, dude, this is watch this." Okay, but like so, like Hulu and Netflix, I think there's more creative from the artist or the whatever to be like, "Hey, this is the show we're gonna make."
Yeah, absolutely. But then could you also like, I mean, just even if you don't know who Miss Pat is, just from what you've heard about her, could you just imagine just like trying to censor, like put that into like a PC box?
No.
You can't. You destroy everything that it is.
Right.
We're
gonna edit it. We gotta make it for everybody. We gotta make it for the kids. And we gotta. It's gotta be censored. You can't talk about rape. I know that. You can't talk about crack babies. Like, wait, what, bitch?
Yeah.
Like, no, hold on.
And she says like this is a comedy show, and didn't she say the first episode is like takes place like with a school shooting or something?
Yeah, I think she might have said. Yep.
Like she's like, it's funny. I'm telling you, it has to be. So that was great, and so that was the start of the weekend.
Okay.
So, like I said, we did that, and then Saturday we just like hung out. Okay,
Real quick, going back, just one more question about stand up. Did you guys get asked any questions or noticed at all, or at the stand up?
No.
Do you guys want that?
I
attention?
didn't from her.
I would have taken it because the thing is like I know comedy. I would have loved to see what she said, but you know I never like heckle because. Or anything like that, but we weren't sitting close enough. I don't think.
I think we were probably close enough.
Somewhat close.
I think there was a lot of material in front of us that was just better. I think I would like it with certain comedians, but I feel like she might really shatter my ego, and I don't know if I was ready for it.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to.
I don't
recover
think I
from
can
that.
recover from her. So.
When I'm at a show, I want to be in the audience. I don't ever want any like, hey, what about you, sir? Where you from? Or what the fuck? What shirt are you wearing?
Right.
Like, what the fuck's wrong with your Pags? Close your fucking mouth. Like, I don't want any of that shit. I just want to enjoy the show, especially with somebody that aggressive and that energetic and powerful.
Yeah, I've set up when I saw Brad Williams. We set up, but he didn't go into the crowd at all. But it wouldn't bother me. I don't.
He's
think,
just a little guy.
But yeah, no, it is fun just to see. But like when she kept going in on like said that couple that was down there, man. I think the girl finally loosened up like at some point, but it was. I don't even remember some of the stuff. I just remember at one point, because he was sitting like right in front of me the way it was, and so I was looking at the back of his head, and he just turned around, and the look on his face, he's like, "Oh my god!" like it was the look that they have to kill themselves because they'll never recover. Like I don't know how. Like she shattered. It was best. It was so great.
She was amazing.
It'd be great, like if I'm with you guys and then she goes after you. Yeah, you fucking greasy fucking Italian spaghetti eating fuck. But like, I don't want any. I hope they don't even notice me.
Tell them about the Asian guy.
Oh, the guy in the front?
Yeah.
Oh, so I don't even remember exactly how it came up. I think it was because he was dating someone out of his league, maybe, or something.
I think it was just like a table of like 4 Asians. Yeah. And so I think she just called them out. She, she's like, what ethnicity are you?
Right.
And so and then went to like each one, she's like, you're beautiful people. Because she was talking about, she loved how like the room was like so many different.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's how it got brought up.
And she got to that guy, and he's clearly, I think he was Filipino, Filipino maybe, I think he said, or something like that.
There was a Filipino at the table. I don't know if it was him.
Either way, she asks him his name, and you're expecting something clearly foreign, and he's like, Albert. She just lost it.
Yeah,
she could not believe it. And then he goes, well, wait, did you want my American name or my, like,
it wasn't
Korean name, maybe.
Yeah, whatever Korean name.
And then she lost it again. She said, hold the fuck up. You guys get 2 names? Where the fuck are my 2 names?
Yeah, she's like, I want my, like, off the boat from Africa name, and I want Patricia.
She just crushed it, man. It's like,
she's like, Albert.
God,
and it was the way she goes, Albert.
Like,
she was like personally. It was great.
It was great.
And his Korean name, was like very Korean. And she went in on that. She's like, that sounds like your order. That's like a number 3. It was so great, dude. I love when you can do race comedy like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
I love comedians that will like interact with the crowd like that because you know it's on the fly. So
Yeah.
I can
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, work in the crowd and I just don't want that to be me.
Exactly. Depending on who it is.
Depending on what it is.
yeah, and you sit in the back. Yeah, and if you don't say anything, but
I would never get mad.
Oh,
I mean, I
yeah.
would laugh. I mean,
you just don't want it.
I don't want that.
You don't want that ego shattering.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. It is crazy how they just like can tear somebody down, and
Oh,
they
for
know
sure, man.
like the insecurities just like right away. You're like, Jesus.
You got somebody in control of the room.
Yeah.
And then wherever they want that focus to go, the whole room goes there. So it's like, oh, what's up, Chang Wang? Yo, ting ting tao. And you're like, oh, fuck. Put your chopstick out. You're like, fuck, I'm not even Asian. I'm just real high. Back up.
But yeah, great. Up to down, probably like I think just more time has passed. I think it's probably the best comedy show I've been to.
I'll wait for her to come to my city. I would love to see her, man.
I
I'm
would
a
like
fan.
to go again.
Yeah, I would definitely
I
go
would
again.
absolutely go
So
again.
yeah, I don't know how often she travels, but yeah, she hits the improv. So if you hit that improv circuit,
Okay.
you know that's pretty great. And so, like I was saying, so it worked out. They came down, and so. The Degenerate has this thing where he has like the worst luck.
Okay.
I don't know if we've talked about it or if you know it, but we use like his last name and we say luck. We always do like hashtag because it's like,
Okay.
I mean, just stupid shit. Like
It's always the worst.
it's always something. I say that to him a lot. I'm like, it's always something with you.
Yeah.
And so, and he's like, well, what do you want to do on Saturday? Because we're gonna go to the NASCAR race on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, there is like, because he's obviously a big Chiefs fan, he's like, there's a big Mahomes mural.
Yeah. So so another thing that's been kind of nice with like social media, when we were just shitting on it earlier, the one thing that I like now is that as Taylor gets more invested in the teams, then she starts following all of the women associated to the team. So
Okay.
she doesn't follow any of the Chiefs players, but she follows all their girlfriends and wives.
Okay.
So then I get this other side of like the Chiefs that I would never have found before.
Okay.
And so she shows me one day there's this huge Chiefs like Patrick Mahomes mural painted on the side of a bar, and those are two things that I love. And I said, hey, we should go and check it out. So I pull it up, and it's exactly 30 minutes from his house. And I said, but listen, we can't, that's an hour round trip. We can't drive an hour round trip just to see this picture. We got to try to make something out of this.
Right. Smart.
Yeah.
So we carpool down there. Or no, we don't carpool down there. We
Yeah, because we have my two kids.
And so obviously he's ahead of us, and we're in the car, and we get pretty close to it, and he calls me, and he says, hey, where you at? I said, we're about a block and a half away. And he's like, so you haven't seen it yet? And I already know. And I just go, no, not yet. And then he just says, stay on the phone with me. So then as we pull up to where it's supposed to be, the whole thing outside of it's under construction. You can't get anywhere
shit.
near it. And you can't even really see the entire thing because it's all blocked off with like construction equipment.
So he can't get his Instagram post for because he told me, dude, I think I already have how I want to put it on Instagram. Like he's already.
So remember what we talked about earlier?
So I know how hyped he is for this.
My Instagram is a science. Like, it comes down to a science, and that one just completely threw a wrench in it.
Damn.
But it was surprising, but it wasn't.
And I always just like I just said the hashtag, and I was just like it's something, and I was just dying laughing.
It's always something.
Yeah. So, but we did fucking made lemonade out of this. So we just like my two boys were sleeping, so they were taking their nap, and JPEG's like, I'm just gonna stay with them. So I was like, well, what else were we gonna do? Because we didn't want to go down there just for the mural. So we saw that there was this like pretty cool like glass shop that we wanted to go to, because I love just like looking at art in general. Like I can go into the liquor store, just look at all the different types of bottles, and I also like going into like glass shops and seeing like local artists and like what kind of pipes and stuff that they make. It's great. So we can just go in there and just look around, and then we can get some like fresh baked warm cookies. Like that'll make the whole thing worth
dope.
everything. So so we go, and I don't remember the name of the place that we went to, but we go in there and we start looking around, and it's one of the best glass shops I feel that I had ever gone. And so we're looking, and you remember the one that you saw that you really liked? It was was it Slimer?
Oh yeah, from Ghostbusters. Somebody had made a monster, huge like pipe in it, but it was blown to be like Slimer.
Okay.
From Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Which one is Slimer?
It's like the big green.
Oh, like in the
He was
hotel.
he was in like a library or something.
Yeah, I know what you're
Or
talking
no,
about.
maybe it was a hotel.
Yeah, whatever. When they split up and they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, yep, I know. what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
that, and it was just like, I mean, he had like the teeth was great. And it's
Oh,
just like,
shit, man.
and it's just a local artist, and so it's just like the one piece, and it's just so great to see that. But remember like the coolest thing that we saw there?
So they had this bong. I think it was even a prototype, wasn't it? Like I think it was like a prototype bong. Tommy Chong,
Oh yeah.
for whatever reason, his wife's panties were shoved into it, and it was only $50,000.
Yeah. Well, what it was so like like he got like arrested for like making those bongs or whatever, and he had like went to jail. I don't know like the exact story.
Yeah.
Well, apparently like this bong was like one that he had used, and it was from like his collection.
Okay.
And so like I don't know the reason why, but his wife's panties were in it, and you could buy it. It's like it's a one of a kind item, and so you could buy it for $50,000.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got there. He signed it. I don't remember. It was like Mary Cannabis or something like that.
Okay.
I remember what it was, but I thought that was pretty cool.
was
Assuming it's real. I don't know. If
I
it's
like to
real.
think it's real.
I like to think it's
I
real.
don't know
as
if you
well.
just go shoving fraudulent panties into it.
Yeah. You would think it would have to be authenticated if you're going to sell it for 50. Unless
Right.
It's a joke, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that does make sense. So yeah, so then we just end up going back to my house and hanging out.
Oh
and...
wait, so that's the night we ordered the Kelserone.
Oh yeah.
Travis Kelsey's own personal pizza.
What is it?
The Kelserone.
Oh shit! Where's that from? Is that?
Minsky's.
Minsky's.
It's a pizza place, yeah. And he went there, and he goes, I know it's probably gonna be shit, but we have to order it. We're down here, so. And I just couldn't get over the fact that it's called the Kelserone.
Oh yeah. So the best part was too is that he made JPEGs order it, and then he's just staring at her, waiting for her to have to say it.
Yeah.
And then he starts dying laughing, and then she starts laughing on the phone, which was just great.
Can I get the Kelserone?
Because all day
JPEGs.
I couldn't. It was just one of those things. It hit me funny, and I would just think about it every like half hour, and I would just giggle. I'd be like, Kelserone. Like it's just because I think it was also like what you go. It's probably just pepperoni because you said you watched like the promotional video and it was like super weird.
It was super bizarre, and I just watched it once like a month ago.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even remember what was on it. It turned out that there was two kinds of pepperoni on it. And salami, I think.
Yeah, there was like some big chunks. It was actually
It
pretty
was actually
good. I
really
really
good,
did
yeah.
enjoy it.
It was super good, I thought. We even saved some the next day for NASCAR.
Yeah, that was great. And yeah, so we ate that pizza, just chilled, and then we got up for NASCAR. And so, which I think if you do anything, you need to do it right. You need to do it like the people who were going there. So if you're
For NASCAR?
if you're gonna go to NASCAR, you're gonna go to NASCAR expecting to be a NASCAR fan.
Okay.
I feel. So with
I've
that,
never been in NASCAR, so I'm gonna have questions.
NASCAR, I will say, 100% does it right.
Okay.
When it comes to that,
agree.
because when you go and we went to the Kansas City Speedway, and you've never been,
No.
the Degenerate's never been, and I've been once, and it's one of those things like normally I don't like NASCAR. I'll never watch it unless I'm with somebody who's watching it. I don't care about it, but like we have like Rob, who's been on the podcast, he loves it,
Okay.
and again. When somebody loves something and you can be with them very high, you
the
get
best.
to appreciate it. It's the best. You get to see it. And so, of course, and we had like another one of our, best friends come down, Beeman Thomas. Thomas, he came
Shouts out.
down. And so, so it was Rob, Ashley, us two, Taylor, and Thomas. And it was so much fun. But when you go, like, you can take a cooler in. It can't be over, like, it has to be a soft cooler.
So it's not like a concert where there's scrupulous fucking security.
Right. No, there's still security, but it has to be a soft cooler, and it can't be bigger than like 14 by 14 by 14, and that's very relaxed.
Yeah, very loose.
Yeah, and so they just have to like look through it. So you could take in, I don't think you could take in any glass, but you could take in beer, which is great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
fantastic, yeah.
So what we did is when JPEG's for her work, trip in Canada, she was breastfeeding, so she bought like this Arctic cooler backpack that's like light purple.
Yeah.
And so she had it for breastfeeding. So I was like, we're 100% filling that up with ice. Yeah. We're getting White Claws, and we're putting the pizza, the Kelseroni in these bags, and I'll carry around the backpack. And I was so fucking stoked about it because that's exactly what we did.
Oh yeah, and going into the race was even better because they have to go through it and look at it.
Yes.
Right. And so they opened this bag, and the dude, I think, literally even said,
"Well, I sat up there, and I knew how I had it packed.
Yeah.
He opens it up, flips it open, and there's just a bag of pizza right on top because it's ice. It's filled up to the top. And he looks at me, and we lock eyes, and I go, "Pizza and White Claws." And he just goes, "I'm just gonna have to confiscate this." And he sits it back up and goes, "Have one for me." I'm like, "You're goddamn right." It was the best. And T-Ferg heard it. She was standing right there.
I caught the tail end of it, so I didn't get to see it in action. But man, no, it was a great experience. I'm the same way. I never really watched NASCAR. I used to watch it in college on Sundays to help me sleep off my hangovers. But yeah, it's like, our buddy was into it. It felt like it was a Super Bowl to him almost. And I'll try anything once.
Oh, for sure. For sure, man.
So it ended up being a blast. I mean, we rolled up. We actually got there before even anybody that cared about the race did.
Yeah.
So we just immediately get out. I popped 140 milligrams edible and cracked a White Claw.
Okay.
And then right away, some monster truck rolls up and two chicks are like, "Yo, what, monsters?" And I'm like, "Fuck it, yeah." So now I've got a monster in one hand and I got a White Claw in one hand. And by the way, I bought the most ridiculous Patrick Mahomes shirt ever. I don't know if you saw it, but it's like a cartoon of his face and he's making like the duck lips.
Yeah, like the like it's like more of a pucker. Yeah, it's really
ridiculous. I saw it I had bought it that weekend in Kansas City. I walked in, I saw it, and I told her, I said, "I don't care if that shirt's $30.
It's mine."
I walked up to it, 32. I was like, "Oh, I already made this commitment." And so I mean, we're sitting there, we're looking ridiculous. We just really committed to the NASCAR life, and it was a blast.
Yeah, and I had a Chiefs shirt on, but then like when Rob showed up, he had a Joey Logano shirt, and it was a red shirt, so I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I'll wear it." Yeah. And I was like, I know people they don't like him or they love him. It's like apparently it's not like a lot of in between, and so it's like, yeah, I'll wear it. And we had like the track passes that we bought, so I like wore that on the lanyard out, and like I even drank a tall Busch Light and just a regular sized Busch Light, like a tall boy. Yeah, people are like, "What are you doing?"
When you're in Rome.
Yeah, that's the way I see it, and it was so much fun.
It was the best. I feel like that.
Leading up to the race, let's just say it was so much fun.
Just no spoilers. The race was boring as fuck. I mean, I was literally sitting there. Listen, if you're bored when you're on as much weed as I was,
140 milligrams.
Well, that was just at the beginning. So I took the 100 and the 40 just for like the pregame and the tailgating kind of shit.
Right.
And then right before the race started, I popped another 70.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I mean,
I was just on 70 the whole day.
I'm balls deep into these edibles, and I'm still sitting there going, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
And there is one silver lining. I thought I heard somebody say this motherfucker was 400 laps.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and when I look up, and we're not even to 100 yet, I just look at Taylor. I was like, "There's no way. There's no way." Yeah. I was like, "I don't know how we're gonna break it to Rob, but we got to get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's already like half over," and I was like, "Whoa, what?" It was like music to me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, that's fucking great. Let's go get some nachos." And so once I heard that, I came back, and it kind of helped me enjoy it more because I knew the end was a lot closer.
Gotcha.
But I even like remember the day before Saturday, we were just chilling, and you go, "You know something?" You go, "I've been thinking about NASCAR like for a while because we got this weekend. It's gonna be a great weekend." He goes, "I never until like right now thought of that I actually have to watch the race. It's been all about pregame because we got the track passes, and Rob's like, 'Hey, I want to do this and this,' and we're like, 'Dude, whatever you want to do, we're right behind you. Like we don't give a shit. You plan it out because we could honestly care less. We're just drinking and getting faded."
Hell yeah.
And so
I will say though that we had amazing seats, literally right there on like the finish line.
We were 11 rows up from the start finish.
Okay, nice.
And, so we had these amazing seats, and there was at least probably 2-3 wrecks, I think, and there was one pretty much right there in front of us towards the end.
Yeah.
Actually sent it into overtime, which I didn't know was a thing, and I almost lost my shit when I found
Are you
out.
fucking kidding?
Because keep in mind, here's the deal: that we had gotten to Kansas City on Friday, and I'd been just fucked up ever since.
Yeah, we just been fucking.
I mean, we were going hard.
Like, yeah, I mean, we'd go out and just blow through a bowl from Bong Burgundy, just woof.
But now it's Sunday. It's already like 5 o'clock. I gotta work tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, this has overtime? How the fuck does that happen?
Yeah, right.
But it ended up, no, like I said, and I would say more than anything, not only was the tailgating and the pre-gaming and all that super, super fun just for me, but seeing how excited Rob was to be there made every second worth it.
Yeah. Tell him about the signature.
Oh, yeah. So Rob's got, like, his favorite racer.
I wish
Racist.
I should. I should know who it is, but I can't.
It'll come to me.
Is it Kyle Donahue?
No, it was Clint Boyer.
Clint Boyer. Yes.
I see.
That's it.
I did see I saw that picture. I don't remember if I saw the home shirt, but I do want to see
You gotta
that.
go back and look.
I did see the purple backpack with the pizzas and the white claws. I saw a lot of that. I got the questions.
Yeah, let him finish.
Oh,
finish
yeah.
the story, then we'll get to
so-
your
yeah,
questions
man.
about it.
So I mean,
Because this was like, if anything, to me, this was worth the entire
100%.
trip.
Okay.
Actually, and I'm gonna even rewind it just a smidge before
Yeah,
that.
do you think?
Because again,
Need to
we're
make a
just
drink,
we're
pussy.
just walking around with Rob. We're letting him lead the way. We don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
And he leads us up to this place, and we kind of push our way pretty close to the front. And I'm like, "What the fuck is this, man?"
Yeah.
He's like, "This is the racers meeting. All the racers are in there. They're gonna walk right by here. I'm gonna try to get this guy's autograph."
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool, man. I'll stand here with you. Why the fuck not? I got nothing better to do. And so all of a sudden, I kind of see some people start walking out, and I see this guy wearing like a full Canadian tuxedo almost, denim jacket, denim
Oh,
pants.
hell yeah.
And I'm looking at him.
Bolo tie.
I'm looking at him like, oh, this dude's kind of fucking handsome.
Yeah.
And then he walks a little bit closer, and I'm like, oh shit, Taylor, is that Jensen Ackles? And before she can even answer me, I hear someone from next to Rob yell, Jensen! And I'm like, oh, it is fucking Jensen Ackles. So then, of course, the dude next to me is like, who's Jensen Ackles?
Oh, I said the same thing.
Yeah, right. So that I'm about to answer it for everybody who doesn't know who Jensen Ackles is, and so I'm being animated because obviously I'm high as shit.
Oh, yeah,
And I go, Jensen Ackles, Smallville legend Jensen Ackles, supernatural legend Jensen Ackles, and he hears me say this. He comes over, he shakes my hand. He's like, "Come on, man!" Like I'm embarrassing him because I'm hyping him too much. And I was like, I had no idea this guy was gonna be here. I just wandered up here because I didn't know what else to do. So I got to shake his hand. I got a picture, and he actually ended up signing one of Rob's ticket lanyard things. So he's like, "I'm gonna give you this because I don't know who this guy is." And I was like, "Oh yeah, man, that's perfect." So anyway, I ended up getting kind of this impromptu celebrity
awesome.
meeting, which was super cool.
Yeah.
Because I actually do watch Supernatural and I did watch Smallville, so immediately I knew who he was.
That's awesome, man.
And so then Rob didn't get his autograph though.
Yeah.
So then we kind of were wandering back, and the race is going to start in about an hour. And he's like, "We're going to hang out right here. This is where he's going to be." Usually they have like VIP fans on the other side. We're behind the rope, so we're not important.
Yeah.
But he's going to try to get his attention. And if you know Rob, he's got that beard. It's
Yeah.
hard to ignore him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So once you've made contact with the beard, it's over.
Yeah.
And so that's what he was banking on. And so
Yeah.
we're sitting up there. It's
Great strategy.
It is a
for sure.
fantastic strategy. And we're sitting up there. I mean, we probably hung out there for a good half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, which was great because we were just. Go ahead.
No, I was just thought that was, we're talking about Rob. Come on, you didn't even catch it. Half hour, 45
Oh,
minutes,
yeah.
man. Come on.
I was mid thought of my own sentence.
But no, I was just gonna say. So we were hanging out there, and he came out, and he made contact with him, and he's like, "Hey, man, do it for the beard." And he gave him kind of the thumbs up, but right after that, the people, all these like, I don't know what they were, National Guard or something.
Yes. So what they do is like, because there's a concert, like, and there's a lot of people like track pass. You can go like to the concert, whoever, and it's usually like Country Star or whatever. And so at a certain time, so much time before the race, what they do is they pretty much like they do with cattle. It's just like a little fence. And they just pick it up and they just start walking.
Okay.
And so you walk cross track and get up into the bleachers. And so right as he goes, "Yeah, I'll be there," that's when they lifted up the stage and everybody starts walking. Rob's like, "No, he said he's gonna come on." They're like, "Go." And Rob will not give up on anything because that's why we went. That's why he was so excited. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be hilarious. So I just start walking backwards. I just want to watch this play out.
Well, so as this whole thing was going down, he had actually given me his phone to take the picture.
Okay.
Well, so now he's kind of in a different area. I'm getting pushed out a little bit faster than his area is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've got his phone, and I was like, this isn't going to happen. So I gave up. I turned around and started walking back. But then all of a sudden, the driver came under the fence, started running towards him. It looked like a romantic movie. Like,
oh, hell yeah.
Like they're about to meet in the middle and like pick each other up and swirl around.
Yeah.
And so so Rob just dips right under the rope too and starts running towards him.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, Rob's like, he's coming. And he's just like, woof.
So then all of a sudden, the girl that's kind of hurting our portion back is
It's like,
looking.
they had a woman do that?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And she's looking at me, but she's looking back and seeing this whole thing. And I said, lady, I have his phone.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know what that means. She's just staring at me. And I said, I got to take the picture of this moment. And then you could see that she just had this dilemma. Like, she was like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Do I let you go?
You let him go 100 times out of 100 times.
She just kind of looked at me and she made this noise like, and then kind of shrugged. And I just was
That's
like,
a sure go. That's a green light. That's a green light all
At
day.
that point, I saw Ashley just fucking said fuck it, and she made her way up there. She got the pictures, and so everybody, it all worked out in the end. But he was so happy, and it was
awesome,
so
man.
cool to see that happen.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Especially because I think we had all assumed by that point it wasn't gonna
Yeah, no, I for sure was like, oh, it won't fucking happen. He's about ready to race. He's about ready to go 200 miles an hour and turn left 8,000 times. He's got shit he's got to concentrate on.
Yeah.
But like you said, once the beard grabs a hold of you, you
Yeah,
can't
you're not
ignore
letting
it.
go of that.
No, it was amazing.
Yeah, so it was great. It
was a great time. It
And
was
then I enjoyed the race, and it's awesome because you're sitting that close, and when, like, once they finally take off and they come around that first time, it just hits you right in the chest. And
That was cool.
Or, like, every restart that they do, just boom, it's right there. So, just to feel it, so...
I mean, it had its moments for sure. Like I said, the first probably, 40 laps or so, I was pretty into it. And then I couldn't think about anything else but those nachos.
Yeah.
Then once we got the nachos, I couldn't find a way to get back into the race. It was over for me. Even when they wrecked, I really wasn't even that into it. Because all I could think about was fuck, we're not going to get home till at least 8:30. But no, I'm just kidding. Everything leading up to it, that whole weekend was perfect.
Yeah, it's just the way that it all worked out and
That's
stuff.
fucking awesome.
So what questions did you have for NASCAR?
Oh shit! Prepare to copy. No, man, that sounds great, and I follow all you fucks, all you degenerate fucks on the gram and on Twitter, and so I saw multiple pictures, and like I said, I saw the purple backpack with the Calceronis. I didn't know they were Calceronis. They just looked like slices of pizza to me.
Yeah.
But the White Claws, and I saw the picture of Rob with the racist or racer, whatever you call him. But I saw that and I'm like, that does look fun. So my questions are probably just more about NASCAR. So what time did you guys get to the track?
Get to the track 8. No, we left the house at 8. Yeah, it was like 8:40 because because I remember you said like it said 40 minutes. I remember like when we parked, we looked down and it was like right at 8:40 or whatever it was. So
so about 8:45.
Yeah,
when we got out.
And I've never been to a track like that before, but I know they're fucking gigantic. Like, do you know how many people were there approximately?
I have no.
So like over 100,000, like a fuck ton or less.
Probably less than that.
I don't think it was 100,000. I mean, it wasn't like completely full at all, but yeah, I mean, it was a decent amount. I'm bad with numbers, as you know.
No, I hear you. No, I don't fuck with numbers either. I know it's a big fucking events, NASCAR.
Right.
How long was the race? Like how many laps?
Well, it was like, I want to say like 400, but like the way that it was like
267.
Yeah. So, but like the race is like was called like the 400. There's like 400 name, and that usually has.
Well, it's probably going by like miles.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Over a mile long, then.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong. I didn't know research. I don't know exactly how long it is.
No.
Yeah, but I also think like what you said. Like I never thought because I hadn't watched a race, but I never.
So you're like,
No, I get it. The pregame, that
Yeah,
sounds great.
but I never really thought about just sitting there like watching it either. Like it's just, cause I was so focused on like the fun part.
Yeah.
I would say like I said, it loses its luster right about lap 40 for me.
Yeah.
And it's not like football that drags you in on.
Yeah,
every
yeah,
drive.
yeah. It's loud though. The cars are super.
Yeah,
super loud.
yeah, yeah.
I do like that. I just worked at Monster Jam just a few weeks ago for the first time I've ever been. It's not NASCAR, but
Right.
as far as engines and loud, motors and shit. That's cool. How's the people watching there? Was that A plus
dude,
plus?
Dude, fantastic.
You guys see titties?
I only
You guys see
saw
titties?
one "Make America Great Again" hat.
The guy right in front of us.
No.
Yeah,
It was the guy
just
right in
one.
front of us.
Just one.
Yep,
huh?
yep. And last time I remember the first time I went, I saw a lot more like Trump, Pence, like flags and stuff. I don't only remember just seeing the one hat. So
That guy right
Yeah.
in
Did you guys see
front
titties?
I
I like titties, dude. I don't
Yeah,
know if you know that.
no.
of us. No
I didn't see
NASCAR
any.
titties, no.
Dang.
I mean, I would say I was honestly probably a little surprised with. I thought it was gonna be a lot trashier than it ended up being.
Yeah.
I think it was just the.
And it was kind of
stereotype
a
it.
cool day, and that's probably why people were like wearing coats and stuff.
Okay.
So, hoodies
That's cool,
and
man. But
whatnot.
it was
It was
like
still
a diverse,
great.
pretty diverse.
Oh yeah.
I love people watching, man. It was still good, like people watching. Shit.
Yeah, handful of mullets as always.
Oh,
Like a
so
legitimate,
many
like
mullets.
good, like they're doing this on purpose.
Hell yeah.
Like fantastic.
Yeah, I saw a guy double fisting two like bush lights with a mullet, and I was like, "This is America.
This is America.
Yeah, yeah.
This
They-
is America."
They had what was it, a B-2 bomber
Yeah.
fly over?
Awesome, man.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty great.
That was.
I hadn't seen one of them in person in a long
They look
time,
like a
so that
fucking
was
UFO,
great.
man.
It doesn't
Yeah.
look natural.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
so big and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah,
The
it's
way the
just-
sound, it's
Those are
not,
fucking weird.
nothing natural about it.
Yeah,
I see them here rarely,
Yeah.
once a year, just because of the Air Force Base. They do not have B2s here, but every now
yeah.
and then they're.
I think like if like that's like in my head when it would click, like when the shit really starts going down and we're like
They're all
nuking each
over the
other,
place,
they all
everywhere.
start going or like some alien thing. That would be like, oh, you see this shit on the news, shit's blowing up. But like when I see that, like that's when my gut will drop. You know what I mean?
That's for sure. For sure.
Just like, oh, those are out. Like even when I saw it now, it made me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can
you know what
imagine.
I mean? I was just like,
Yeah.
It's just like it's cool to see, but you're like, I don't like it, and I don't know why.
It's just something unsettling about it.
yeah.
It just doesn't seem
Not
like
natural.
natural.
No, it's not.
I remember loving him as like a kid though. Like I like when they came out, however old I was at that.
They just have
point,
different
but-
implications now as an
Yeah,
adult. I think.
yeah, touche.
Implications.
It's all about the implication now.
Yeah, now we got President Donald Trump, so yeah, makes sense. But this isn't a political show, so get back to NASCAR. It was great, man. I was hoping to see, because I remember the first time I went, I legitimately saw somebody wearing a beer helmet. I did not,
yeah.
I did not see one of those this last time. So NASCAR peeps, we need to start stepping up our game. So
I would
How
say
much was a beer there?
I like $7,
$6-7.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No.
Once we
no,
got
not-
in there, I didn't really drink anymore because I was just,
Yeah.
Yeah,
over
and, well,
edibles.
I stopped drinking, and I
would have stopped talking.
Yeah.
I mean, we finished our claws.
yeah, we
and our
finished
bush
them, and I didn't
lights.
even think we'd finish them because I wanted to take the edible early because I drove, and so
Okay.
I wanted to make sure I was like completely, for the most part, sober.
Responsible.
Yeah, and so I only did 70, and then just drank, and then I was done drinking by noon. The race didn't even start till like 1:30, and then it was like 3 hours of racing or whatever. But
I would say that like the tailgating, the pregame
Yeah.
for NASCAR just blows like the NFL out of the water for me. Just because of how like I said, there was like fucking concert.
Yeah.
There's a
yeah,
concert you
yeah,
can
and
go
the thing
to,
is
and, like,
it's not like you're not like it when you're tailgating. You always like there's so many
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of people. I
Okay.
mean, there are in certain spots,
Yeah.
but for the most part, we had like
All kinds of
room
room.
to move and shit like that.
I would say their concessions though, dog shit.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the chicken strips you got.
Yeah, dude, I got chicken strips and it was like I think what $9.50
Some-
for like 3 chicken strips and a decent amount of fries. I mean, it'll fill you up.
But
you
those
know?
chicken strips are good as fuck.
But yeah, so like we pretty much went and got the food at the same time. So when he got his nachos, I'm like, dude, the chicken strips look good. And you just never know, but you can usually play it safe with chicken strips wherever you go. And they were fried a little bit longer, so they were more crispy, which is how I like them.
Okay.
And they were fucking money.
nice,
And the fries fries were pretty good. And when I got them, like I ordered it, he like handed it to me right away, and I was like, oh fuck. And then, but as soon as they hit my hand, like they were fresh. I got them like they must have literally came out, dropped them, and then I ordered them, and they were right there, dude. They were so fucking great. And so yeah, I say you ate some part of it too, but. Yeah.
So when you fucks with chicken strips, like what are you dipping in?
Well, they only had ketchup there, so that's what I had to deal with. But that's not by choice. I go. If I can, Dorothy Lynch. I love Dorothy Lynch with chicken strips because I grew up on that. That or for sure always honey mustard. Some type of a honey mustard I love for strips. I will go barbecue if it's there. It's not a choice. But Dorothy Lynch number one. Honey mustard. Any type of honey mustard. What about you, sir?
Damn, that's a fucking real baller stance. So, respect first off. Second off, good question. Throwing it right back. Yeah, honey mustard all day.
Yeah.
And then depending on where you're at in the barbecue sauce, I'll go in between the barbecue sauce and depending on the hot sauce you have there. Ideally, I have a basket of, I don't honestly fuck with chicken strips often.
Right, yeah, no,
I'm
me
a
neither.
chicken wing bone-in char
Yeah,
guy.
no, absolutely.
Same.
But it's like very rarely, and it's like at events like this where like, I want to double down. You can't fuck up a chicken strip.
That's
so,
the basic.
yeah.
They're less likely to fuck that up than a burger or something like that. And then if you're in North Korea or something like, oh, you get chicken strips. I'm just kidding. You're not. But I'm just saying, if you're you're at NASCAR and you're like, okay, I got to get chicken strips. Ideally, I have like honey mustard, I have barbecue sauce, and I got hot sauce, and you could fuck around and see what you like. Cheap barbecue sauce or whatever. I don't know. But no, chicken strips aren't my go-to, but I'll fucks with them.
What about you,
Spencer? Yeah.
So it's for us, because like I feel like the only time we ever eat chicken strips is like we're at Cane's or we're at Chick-fil-A. So I'm always going with whatever their house sauce is.
Yeah, which is the right move because they're delicious at both of those places.
So we don't really do a lot of that. Now I'll say like I'm more of like a by location. For example, if I do get chicken strips at Dairy Queen, hot gravy every time. You go to.
I don't think I've ever had that.
Oh, bro,
You mean semen?
out.
When you say hot gravy, I'm like your semen or somebody else's semen?
It's like a mix.
Yeah.
If there's a bucket of semen. Everybody jizz in here now. Chicken strips are in the fryer. Go.
No, you're missing out, man. I'm telling you. You can get like a fucking little cup of like thick gray, like the gray gravy.
I guess I don't usually eat at Dairy Queen. I mean, they have great food. Like, well, I wouldn't say great, but they do have decent food if you do. But it's usually just ice cream when I go.
Yeah.
So.
But then other than that, like, it just again it kind of depends. Like for example, Wendy's, you go barbecue because their barbecue's money. If we do go to McDonald's and I get like chicken nuggets, I'm kind of between the barbecue or their sweet and sour.
Yeah.
But see, like for me, like anytime when it comes to nuggets, like chicken nuggets, honey is the only thing I love to eat them with. I mean, and then like honey mustard would be secondary, but I love. It's how I ate them growing up, I guess too. Yeah. But it's absolutely great.
I like McDonald's fucking. I don't fuck with McDonald's, but their sweet and sour fries and nuggets, sweet and sour. That's
as we were having this conversation, I was like, well, I'm gonna Google how close there is a McDonald's.
Oh, it's fucking 4 minutes.
Music to my ears.
Yeah. I'll give you the directions, man. Don't stop there. Stop somewhere else. I'll give you a better place for food, but there is one real close.
We got some rum ham.
So. Yesterday, Pags shows up, and I'm like, I thinking about what to cook. You'll hear all this bullshit on the fucking podcast
it drops. You just haven't listened to it yet.
But it's always an event. We got guests. It's an event, and I'm like, the weather's changing. I was working Thursday. Wednesday we had something going on, so I'm like, and Pags was gonna get here like 11 on Friday. I'm like, I don't know what kind of night I'm gonna have. I'll probably come home, go to sleep, wake up, Pags is here. No time to prep. Weather's been shitty off and on. I'm like, I don't want to smoke anything. Ideally, would have smoked a brisket or something, let it rest, but I'm at work. I knew I was gonna be at work, so I'm like, took it back to fucking week 1, day 1, episode 1 shit.
Yes.
Rum ham.
Hell yeah.
Bought a ham. It's fucking big. Pags gets here, we go on a fucking tour, we go shopping, we go drinking, we go bar hopping during the day before episode 57.
Yeah.
I'm like, just in case, man, we got people coming and we'll get another ham. I have 30 fucking pounds of ham. We had a cancellation yesterday. the boys, I don't think fucking ate yesterday. So I have like I heated up like 30, seriously, 30 pounds of ham.
Yeah.
30 pounds.
Yeah, because like you said, he was gonna make soup, like ham and bean soup on
so,
Sunday.
So I warmed it up, caramelized it, carved them last night, smashed it today again. Half the ham's in the freezer. The bones are ready for ham and bean soup tomorrow, but we still have so much ham.
Yeah, but which is great because ham freezes
Yeah,
fantastic,
yeah,
and it's already done and stuff. It's great, but he was just like, one could have fed us for like 3 months,
Yeah,
and I
one,
cooked
yeah.
2.
They're spiraled hams,
I
and
volunteer.
they're
I'll help you out.
they're
Oh,
compacted.
yeah, that's what we'll have. We'll snack on after this for sure.
They're compacted in this sealed thing, and then when you cook it, then you start cutting it. And like fucking expensive, bigger than you think.
yeah,
Even
it's great.
Cam, I'm like, you think this is enough ham? And Camus is always, she's fucking smart, man. She went to college and shit. She's like, yeah, that's fine. And I'm like, no. It's almost like sometimes I ask questions, and no matter what she says, I already know. And that's exactly what it was. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
I'm like, you think this is enough? And I'm expecting her to be like, well, no, we have people coming over. She's like, yeah, that's not. I'm like, no. Like, and I'm like pointing at the hand, like, there's a bone in here. You have a bone in here. We got to cut that out. And after like probably 2 minutes of that, I think no matter what, she's like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, knowing full well she's right. Like I said, she's a smart woman, man. That's why I keep her around. She's good people. She's got a good head on her shoulders.
I was just
good common sense.
Yeah.
College.
I was dying
So I'm
fucking
like,
laughing.
no, that's not enough.
Because I think even I said, you go, I'm cooking both of them. I go, both of them. You remember that?
I probably said the same thing. The Peg's like, hey, Peg, there's a bone. So in here, there's a bone. Like, the bone gets cut out.
I mean, these things were fucking huge. I was like, all right, man. It's just like, he's like, make a ham and bean soup on Sunday. Oh, yeah, you need both of them. Yeah, you right. Yeah, you're right. You good. Yeah. Yep. I didn't know. Yeah. Now I know you definitely need both of them.
Ham isn't super pricey.
It's so good.
And it's good. And if I would much rather have more ham and freeze it for later than not have enough ham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, I don't know, whatever. But shouts out to Candace, man. I love her so much. She's just a good person, man.
Oh, god damn. I've been taking like lists on stuff that I wanted to talk to you about, like on the podcast.
Are you going to read the full list?
No, I'm not going to read the full list.
You read the full list earlier.
Right. And so like that's why we're just going to make some of these hard pivots here, and just because they're great. And it's been so long that some of these I don't even remember like what we're talking about. So okay. So what we could do is I can read the list if you want, Spicy, and then you just pick out what you want to hear.
Love that.
Do you want to do that?
Spencer,
yeah.
No, I don't want that responsibility.
No, because they're all his stories, so he's gonna tell us these.
You were like, yeah, I got these ideas, and you made it seem like they were like, yeah, they're maybe we could talk about these things, like they're not that exciting. And then you read the list, and I was like, what? You have to just go through the list on air, and then we can all decide what.
Yes.
Nervous.
So one of them I just deleted because we just talked about it. Was the closet, how the relationship ended. So
that did just come out of nowhere.
Yeah. So this was the list. And so I have notes in my phone. I have podcast list. I go podcast talking list because sometimes I just want to make sure because I won't remember to tell you shit. And so then we just keep it along until next time we podcast. And so then underneath that I have Degenerates list. And so this is what I have. I have Cub Scout story, catching on fire, starting a cult, trolley discussion, roasts of me if I get cancer, biscuits, underground Facebook porn videos, furries. So I think that's a pretty solid list.
Oh my god!
So and looking at it, reading it again, I think some of them were like maybe just ideas that I wanted to bring up, like with you.
Well, we talked about when I was on fire last time I was here.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. So I probably just forgot to delete it. So because I thought we had.
I love that story too, bro.
Delete it now. I love that story. All right. What do you want to hear?
Oh, the fucking cult shit, like all that shit sounds good. Furry costumes, cults, like all that shit sounds good. Spencer, what do you want to talk about?
You're gonna have to refresh my memory on all the cult stuff because I remember we had this real. Listen, marijuana really changed our lives. In
Like
ways.
no, I mean yes. I mean real talk
Yeah,
here.
100%. So sometimes we'll have these super in-depth and meaningful conversations about just absolutely ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
But again, like,
Are you talking about Nasty and Friends podcast?
But just like we've already said, you tend to get super invested whenever you're talking about. Now, I remember that we talked about starting a cult once, but you'd have to refresh my memory.
Yeah, so I think I was even telling you, I said one of my favorite things about the Degenerate and like Spitzer and like why we became such close friends is because we just throw out questions to each other and it'll be about anything.
Yeah.
And like I go, no matter how ridiculous it is, he always answers it like serious, like it's a real question because it is a real question. For sure. And I think like I don't remember. I think maybe we were talking about TV and something about a cult or something like that. And then I was like thinking later, and then just out of the blue, I texted him. I go, "We should start a cult." And he's like, "Okay." And I was like, "Here's what we would do." And I was looking. I go, "This would be like our outfit," because I was looking through stuff, and I found like these purple cigar like coats that you wear, like
real Hugh Hefner looking shit.
Yeah. And I go, we should start a cult with wearing these. I think is what it was, and we just took it from there. And we're talking about. Do you remember any more details?
I just remember that we wanted it to be about how we just wanted to kind of just like, hey, look, kind of like you were actually. This is a great segue because we were just talking about end times, right?
Yeah.
Look, we know we're here. We know it's coming. We want to prepare for it. We don't want to be weird about it. We want to prepare for it. We want to be high. We don't want to fuck kids in this cult. I do remember that. That was very, very
that was
important.
the number one rule.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
We don't fuck kids in this cult.
And then most people are going to be like, yeah, that's good. Other people are going to be like, oh, come on.
Right, yeah, no, for sure.
Serious? Like, okay. You know what? I got to go.
Right.
But no, go ahead. Sorry, man.
No, I just remember we had some serious in-depth conversations about this
so
cult.
because then it started, he's like, well, they're like real. I've been thinking about this a lot lately.
Yeah,
so
clearly.
we had talked about like we wouldn't wear those like all of the time. And he's like, well, when would we wear them? I'm like, well, let's do it like on like a Friday night. Let's make it mandatory. I go, you know how great those would be to touch like when you're on Molly? He's like, this is what we're going to do. So the cult is like every Friday, like the first Friday, we do it like once a month. We put those on, take them off. And like we went into details about stuff like
How
that.
great would that be?
Yeah, and it's just like...
How great would that be?
Yeah, it would
And
be
those robes
fantastic.
were cool as shit.
Yeah, they were. And they weren't that expensive.
We might have to look those up and just buy them, just in case.
Yeah.
I mean, just in case.
Yeah, founding members. So if you want to be member number 3,
I'm in. Where I sign up? I'll sign up. What
I-
kind of shoes we talking here?
I mean,
I think a lot of cults like the Nike, like the dope mans.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm thinking slippers.
yeah, you
This
think
guy's gonna
slippers
say-
with
This guy's
that.
gonna say Crocs, probably.
No, I am wearing Crocs right now.
that was my second thing. Dope mans, or I was thinking Crocs. For Pags.
But yeah, that was like, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, we talked about it for like a week. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a one time we would bring it up at work. Like,
Or do you pay like dues, like union dues, or do you pay like a
no, we just wanted
thing?
to get, I don't remember how we decided we would make money.
I don't remember. This was so long ago.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was like something like selling weed or something. Like we would move somewhere where we could like legally like grow it and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it was based around, and
Smart.
just
Move to Colorado and
yeah.
just wear robes and get high and not fuck kids.
That sounds like what everybody wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys have a favorite cult now before your guys' cult? You guys have a fave?
Oh man, you know what? Honestly, I know this is a weird, but yeah, kind of.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about them.
So I guess I mean for us, me and Taylor are into a bunch of weird shit.
Okay.
So we watch a lot of these like documentaries and things like that.
You watch a lot of those murder shows.
We do watch
Dateline, 2020, ID Discovery. Oh fuck yeah.
We used to watch Snapped until I stopped. I was like, listen, you're getting way too many ideas. We got to turn this off. You can't watch this one anymore.
Just lose it.
That's gone.
What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know what's funnier because I don't remember. Dude, there's people
the
fucking
favorite
yelling.
Cult. The favorite cult.
Yeah,
Oh, your
Cult.
favorite Cult.
Roll it back in.
Thanks for holding on. We'll always circle back.
Favorite cult. So anyway, we actually spent a lot of time watching different like documentaries and mini series about the Branch Davidians, like David Koresh, Waco. Actually, so I went to Texas for work a couple years ago, and I wanted to get out there to Waco so bad, and it just I actually went with another lady that I worked with, though I didn't really know up until that point. And so we're sitting at the airport waiting for our car, and she's like, while we're out here, I'd like to get out to Waco. And I was like, oh shit, me too. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, we should definitely go. And I was like, I want to go see the
Branch Davidian
Branch Davidian compound where all those people died. And she was like, wanted to go see the markets from like the I guess like there's like some really famous like HGTV like couple or something.
No one at the Degenerate's probably like she's gonna be like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
No, not me
No,
too.
she wanted to go look at like towels and shit. And I was like, no way. I thought for sure she was a kindred spirit, man. No, for sure. What the fuck else have you ever heard of Waco before for anything else? Except for whatever that TLC couple or show, or I don't know what channel it is, but fucking ridiculous. We did not go either way. I think that comment I think that pretty much put a nail in that coffin, so we didn't get to go.
Yeah, I've watched. I don't obviously have a favorite cult. I don't believe in cults. I honestly think this is going to be controversial, maybe, but I think the Catholic Church is a cult.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was on the table.
Hey, listen. Yeah, not at this table. It's not going to be controversial because we're all right there with you.
I didn't think here. I'm just saying, like on the off chance, like, Obama or somebody's listening, they're gonna be like, whoa, like, I was following you guys. I'm like all that shit, and then now like that's too much. And now Obama's like, maybe this isn't my podcast. And I'm like, just in case, like something like, I know you Fox don't think that, but no, like I think all that shit, it's a cult. It's all the same. But I don't have a favorite cult. I think people are crazy for being like, yeah. So I've watched documentaries on a lot of those, like the Branch Davidians, and then those weirdos with the following Haley's Comet, and then of course the what's his name, Jones, Jim Jones, that took those people into South America and then used the Kool-Aid to kill all those people.
Yeah.
And in Ghana, I think it was. And I watched, listened to podcasts about him and watched documentaries about a lot of those. It's just interesting to me that people would just hear people talking and be like, this guy's, I'm all in. Yeah, this guy's 100%. He the David Koresh one to me is one of the most interesting ones because he was completely psycho.
Yeah.
And he told people he was Jesus.
Yeah.
And they were like, I believe it. And then he's like, nobody's allowed to have sex and all this stuff. And people are like, yeah, I get it. But I'm allowed to fuck everybody. Your wife, your kids, and all. They're like, that sounds good.
I think that was another thing in our cult that was like, you can, listen, we got to work some type of a sex angle so we can just have open relationships, whatever. We don't give a shit as long as it's all consenting and obviously don't fuck kids.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And then the other aspect of that is when the government got involved and they're like, they fucked up too. So it was a big fuck up on both sides. Huge, 45-day standoff. Police got shot. Federal agents got shot. They used psyops playing loud music or whatever. And so that's a pretty crazy one. And then the way it's still controversial, where they're like, no, they shot first. No, they shot first. And they used gas canisters to smoke them out, and they were allegedly known to start fires. So it's interesting. It's real interesting, and I would definitely go to Waco if I saw that. But And it's just like, yeah, man, like there was fucking kids in there.
Drove a tank through the wall.
Yeah, they drove a tank through the wall. There's kids in there, like over 100 people died, and it's like, it's real fucked up. But it just makes you think. And the one in Ghana or Guyana, I don't remember which one. It was Jim Jones. He started a church, and I listened to a couple podcasts. I listened to a series, like one whole season about it. I think me and Camus did on trips. And it was fucked up, man. Like people are like, yeah, this guy's the truth. Like, this guy's for real. And then they're like, yeah, he was out of California and then moved to Guyana, somewhere in, I want to say, South America. People went there. And then once they got there, he's like, it's just changing. So far, you got to work. You're digging holes. There's no more freedom. And they're like, oh, no, that sounds great. And then again, with the sex, like a lot of these people, they're like, oh, yeah, the thing is, God wants me to fuck everybody, so that's happening. And they're like, yeah, no, that sounds legit. Like, God's talking to you. He obviously knows more than I do, because you can talk to him and I can't. They're like, yeah, you could fuck any, he's like, yeah, I'm fucking everybody. Nobody else is allowed to fuck. He told me that. That's the first thing he told me. Second thing he told me is like, you guys need to work your digging holes. Third thing he told me, again, I'm fucking everybody. And you're not allowed to say no to me. And then like
that's the move right there. I mean, I guess.
Yeah. Fine. I mean,
and then people started sending out warning signals. The senator came. They slipped them like hand notes, like, "Hey, this is a problem. We're hostages." They got murdered on the way to the off-road like airstrip, and then he knew things were going south, so he made the cyanide Kool-Aid, and and there's audio tapes of it, like him talking on the microphone, like he did like hours every night, like talking about whatever, like being the Messiah or whatever he said. And that while they're like making people drink Kool-Aid, the kids are crying, and they're like forcing, it's a fucking nightmare. Hundreds of people. So it's interesting to me just that you would want to belong so bad that you believe in anything. And it's just like Christianity, or I think, except they're not openly like killing people. They're still breaking kids. It's still a cult.
Do you think at any point in your life you could have ever joined a cult?
Well, I joined the army.
That's where I was getting at with this.
I never was like, this is. That's a lie. Yeah, it was a cult, and I was fully willing to die, but it wasn't for the army. It was never for even the country. It was more for, once you're in, it's for your brothers next to you.
Right.
Like, if we go to combat, we're going, and it's you're willing to die. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're willing to kill, and you're willing to die, but it's not because you believe in. That's where you're at now.
Yeah, whereas a cult, it's usually for one
guy. Yeah. It'd be like, if we're at war, and it's like, Pags, man, like the general, like, I love him. He's the Messiah. He's having a baby with my daughter's kid. We have to die for him if we have to. Like, it's never like that. It's like, fuck the general. I don't even give a fuck. He's living in a fucking office, pushing paper. We're in the mud fighting. We're fighting for each other.
Right.
It's still a cult. You're still believing this bullshit. Like, I never had to go to Iraq, but if I did, it would have been like, so we need cheap oil. Everybody we like trucks in America. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a poor fucking country without a Navy or Air Force, but supposedly they're have bad weapons here that's going to kill everybody. So we have to kill everybody here, including their children. Let's do it. But you fight. I would have fought. I've never killed people, but not for the military.
Right.
But I would. It would have been for us, not for a general or not for Jesus or some made up figure.
Yeah, that's great, man. Well, back to the list. It's kind of related to where we are. I don't know why, I just personally love this story so much. And so it's the Cub Scout story. With your boy.
Okay, so this was a couple of years ago, I guess. So my son's mother is Catholic, so she's raising my son Catholic, which I don't oppose. I don't ever get in the way of. I don't discourage it. I just it is what it is. I let it do its thing, and we haven't had any problems, so it's pretty nice. But a couple years ago, he gets enrolled in the Cub Scouts. Which was a nightmare.
Really?
It was so intrusive.
We're doing shit. That was one of the things I always wanted when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
no, and I did it. And I was almost an Eagle Scout, and it's maybe different in like a small town.
I was gonna say it's probably just different because as a kid it was probably great, but as a parent it was terrible.
Oh, I bet, man.
And I mean, like, there's days where I had to spend one of my Tuesday nights like taking a tour through like the jail. And it's like, bitch, I've been here. I know what this looks like.
I know the guards. Yo, what's up? Yo, what up?
I don't need it. It's like shit like that, right? And so we're constantly going to these meetings and shit, and we're just constantly. It's just it was very, very intrusive. Yeah. And so we're at some ceremony one night, and he didn't even really want to be there. Him and his buddies are like out in the playground, and like we're in this ceremony. And, I mean, there's, like, people in Indian headdresses banging drums and shit. Like, my kid's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm thinking back, like, the way you're describing it. Yeah.
So it's just wild, right? It's just a free-for-all in there. It's just pure anarchy. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know who any of really these people are because, again, I'm not Catholic, so I'm not really in those social circles. I see a lot of the faces at different sporting events, but, we interact, like, heys and hellos, things like that, but we're not, like, friends, really. We just are not in the same circles. And so this guy kind of saunters over to me because you can clearly tell I'm super uncomfortable. And I don't even really remember what he started saying at first, just kind of making small talk. And, and he's like, oh, which child is yours? And, oh, he's over there. And he's like, oh, so are you a member of our parish? And I was like, oh, no. And he's like, oh, so where do you practice? And I was like, oh, no, I'm not. I'm not religious. And he kind of gets this baffled look, and he's like, you're not religious at all? And I was like, look, man, I'm too smart for that. And it just came out because I was uncomfortable. Yeah. And I'm just like, and I didn't mean to like be offensive. And I know that it sounds like that, but and he just kind of gave me that look like, oh, okay. And he like slowly backs away. And I just think that this is the end of that forever. Yeah. So maybe like a month later, I want to say we're at like Easter or something, some Easter mass. And I run into the guy. He's their fucking head priest. So I'm sitting there, and as soon as I see him come up to start talking, I relive that moment immediately. And Taylor's like, are you okay? I'm like, oh, fuck, you don't even know what I said to this dude. I was like, well, we gotta get out of here. We're gonna sit in the back row forever. Yeah. And so we did. We actually did. We sat in the back row, and then I'm trying to not be like suspicious, so I'm trying to keep my head down.
You're probably way more suspicious trying not to. That's where the hood.
Yeah. And in a Catholic church, that's never good.
Oh, well, so listen, this was some weird shit because, by the way, we're at church. It's like midnight at like Easter. And I'm not Catholic. I'm already irritated as fuck that we're here. Yeah. And so, but I can see him because he's behind us. We're all sitting, and he's outside trying to light a signal fire. And he literally lights this candle, and he brings it in, and they sing. They're like, the light of Christ. Oh, my God. And as he hits my row, where I'm sitting, the flame just fizzles out. And so now I'm dying laughing, and everyone's looking at me. He makes eye contact with me. It's the most uncomfortable moment of my whole life. So they had to go back out and like restart their little like signal process with the flames and shit. And I'm just dying back there, and I was like, we can't ever come back. This was it for us.
Yeah. Look, God didn't even want you in there. He put the light out. Yeah. He's like, what is this fuck doing? Yeah. What is this degenerate doing in my house? Yeah. Get him out.
Get him out, and then we can restart the ceremony. Yeah. It's a sacred place, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It's so great. I kind of forgot about that story. I'm glad that you brought that up.
No, it's been in my phone for a while. I love that story.
Dude, I said something like kind of fucked up to a good coworker.
What was
along
it?
the same issues. He's there's another firefighter. When I was working at the special ops station, that out of 12 years I've been in, I was with I wasn't assigned there. I just happened to be at the special ops station because qualifications, right? And that was, I was just had a few years on the job, and so I filled in there, and they're like, hey, you, because a guy got hurt, right? In a Mayday fire, and he never came back to the job.
Oh,
so
damn.
I filled in there, and I was working out west in slow stations, and they're like, hey man, you fit in pretty good here. You want to be here? And I'm like, yes. So I ended up working at the special ops firehouse on the special ops rig, and that was always a defining moment in my career because I was working around with two of the best firefighters, the captain and the firefighter I was with, two of the best ever in the city. Ever,
oh, dude, that's great. That's great exposure, man.
Ever. The best. And I still say that. They're the best. And then the FAE, the engineer of that, his name is Kelsey. And he's fantastic. Tremendous guy, man. I love this guy. And it was like another candidate year. Like when you're a candidate out of the academy, like you just work, you learn, whatever. We have candidates at my station. We've had 4 years in a row. So this was like another candidate year. I just shut the fuck up. I worked and I listened because I had two of the best guys on the job still to this day. They're just great guys. So and we were making every fire in the city we'd go to, every extrication, rescue calls, you name it. My buddy Kelsey, he's really religious. He's homeschools his children. Watches like Fox News, I think. And he's just different. He's different. He's different than me, but he's a really good man.
Yeah,
and he's
just
all,
different beliefs.
No, all around, just a great guy, and he's really religious, and I am opposite of that. 100, like all the way opposite. And I don't ever want anybody to be like, judge me, and
right.
I try not to judge anybody, and I came off judge you once, man, and he hasn't brought it up, and I haven't brought it up.
What happened?
So he's talking about stuff, and I'm open,
right?
and
yeah.
people are like, "You're an atheist." I'm like, I'm not an atheist. You know, I just don't believe in bullshit.
Right.
You know, I believe in science. You know,
right.
Like, I don't believe in fucking ghosts or any of that shit. You know. Usually it's not a problem, and now it's I'm comfortable now.
Right.
When I was a kid, it's embarrassing to me because I had to fucking lie.
Yeah.
I had to lie like my whole life. I never believed in that, but I had to lie about it, and it embarrasses me that I wasn't strong enough to be like,
stand up in what you believe in.
Stand up in what I believe in,
yeah.
because they make you feel like an idiot. They make you feel like, oh, well, you're a fucking outsider. That's how I felt about other things, you know, about being a minority, about
right.
It shouldn't be embarrassing, but it's embarrassing now that like I had to lie, but like, oh yeah, I believe in God, just to fit in. You know, I fucking hate it. You know, so now I almost make it a point to be like, no, I don't. No, if you ask me, I will. No, I don't. It's bullshit. I believe in science. So sometimes I get mad about it when I shouldn't, because I would never be like, oh, you believe in that? You're an idiot. Don't say that. Because I don't know. Yeah. So Kelsey was talking about something, and he's, like I said, a great guy. I love this. I love everything about this guy. Everything about him. Yeah. And he was talking about like the documentary he watched on like Noah's Ark or something. This was like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years ago. Talking about a documentary he watched on Noah's Ark or whatever, and people are like listening to him, and he says something like, I'm like, fuck, that's fucking stupid. And I was like, I don't understand why you believe in that. I'm like, you're such a smart guy. That's what I told him. Like, you're such a smart guy. And he's like one of the best guys I know. And he says, he's like, and he says, like, he like laughs. He like puts his head down. He's an older guy. Gray hair, gray mustache.
That's a great reaction, by the way.
But he could have just been like, fuck this
guy.
I
bet you said it just like that. You're such a smart guy.
I did. I said, you're such a, like, I don't, like, he's one of the smartest guys I know. You know what I mean? So to me, it just came out. I'm like, you're such a smart guy.
It's just, like, you saw it, like, when you said, like, oh, no.
Why are you even talking? Like, you should have just shut your. And he laughed and looked down. He's like, it's not about that. He's like, it's about like your faith, And I was like, God damn, I shouldn't have said that.
What did you do? Right? Would you just go, oh, my bad?
I don't remember.
You just blacked out.
Yeah, hopefully I apologized and said, hey, man, no, I'm sorry. That's your life. That's you believe in that. Like, you're if you're a good fucking person and you believe, I don't care, man.
And he is. The reason he's such a good person is because of that for him. Yeah, absolutely.
If you're a shit person, real quick, Clemson beat Boston College 59-7. Remember we were debating on betting 33.5 points?
Yep.
Okay, so anyway, if you're a shit person and you're using that to persecute, because you're. And I'm still mad about it. Like, it still goes on, but it's like my buddy. Let's change the subject real quick. Back to Kelsey. I felt bad. I still felt bad. He never brings it up. We don't bring it up. I hug him. Like, he's a
great.
good,
a
great.
It's just one of those things.
It's just one of those things. I'm like, you're such a fucking smart guy, man. And he's like, he blew it off and it's like what you said. But it was you. It was a stranger. Me, you, somebody I respect and I love.
Oh my god!
So and he's probably just like whatever, you probably get that if you live that life. Questions, and but yeah, fuck, man.
That's all great.
All right, back to the list. Let's go. So this one was on the list that I had brought up. I had always said, since we're all together now, that if I ever got like stage 4 cancer and I was gonna die, I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast or if I've ever even talked to you about it, Spicy, but like if I ever was gonna die from whatever, that I would love to do a roast like on me. I think it would be great, and I would love for you to host.
Yeah, you have said that.
Okay, because it would be like the best, because you could get like the friend side and then part of like the military side, and it's just like the perfect from both angles, and it would just be the absolute best. And so what I wanted to talk about is who would you want on like the board as like extra roast? Like, who would you pick?
Spencer, I'm ready unless you want to go.
Go ahead, man.
So I've been writing material. Like I could go right now.
Yeah.
And then like as far as the board go, like I got AKA E-Boogie, AKA Avasco.
Yeah.
I got Whiny. I got guys like that. Con DZ. He just talking loud as shit in the microphone. Like, no, we're ready to go, man. And if it happens tomorrow, it's like it's already, it's happening. Yeah.
Man, obviously I think for me it would be, Rob and Chubbs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my best bet at kind of capturing that other side of you and also ensuring that I'll still be the funniest one.
Definitely.
So I don't have to compete with anybody on the stage. So
Smart, man.
It's kind of just a win-win all around. So yeah, Rob and Chubbs are going to be my top two for sure.
Yeah.
And Harris, too. I forgot to mention it.
We got a lot of really white male.
Yeah.
That's another way to roll.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking racist.
Well, why do you think he's on there? Yeah. Well, of course we're gonna have him and Melina. Because Melina's good.
A couple of tokens.
That's another roast, man. You racist fucking Italian fuck.
Yeah.
No wonder why you died young. God hates you.
You're right, though. I'm actually a little disappointed in myself. I should have been preparing for this because it could be any day.
Yeah,
it could be.
For sure.
I've been writing material for years. I love that idea, man. I love it so much just because I don't want to get too down. It'll be quick, but I just lost a friend to suicide.
Oh, that sucks,
on the
man.
job just in May or June. Jeremy Knott committed suicide. He was a firefighter, good friend. Everybody loved him. Like one of just a real solid dude all around. Yeah. Everybody loved him. Nobody saw coming. Happy guy, real good dude. And so like I don't switching gears real quick. I've been drinking.
What, you?
You have? Why did you tell me? I would have drank some too. No, yeah. So you life is short, man.
Yeah.
And it hit everybody hard again, just because this isn't the first suicide on the job. You know,
Yeah.
this is one that hit. The last one we had was a few years ago, and it was a guy I knew, but I wasn't close. I didn't
know him, yeah.
like friendly with, didn't ever hang out with. And this is a guy that a lot of the younger guys like our age, we knew. We hung out. I played paintball. I've drank with him. We've hung out, and so it's sad, man. And that's, you know, suicide, but it's the same as if somebody would die in a car accident, I think, because it's still trauma is still associated with the job.
Yeah,
I think it's
absolutely.
a loss of line of duty death. But yeah, you never know. It could be a car accident. It could be anything. You know, life is short, man. So yeah, of course I've been preparing fucking material because I don't know with your eating habits and shit. I know you've been cutting weight. Spencer, you look like you've been cutting weight too,
Thanks,
man.
man. I appreciate that.
I did notice. I didn't say that, but I did notice that. I haven't said that yet, but
Well, thank you.
yeah, with your eating habits and shit, your fucking heritage, the Italians. Fuck, I'm just waiting for that fucking phone call, man.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Solid lineup. Biscuits. It's on the list.
Go. Biscuits, go.
Yep.
What is?
Biscuits, wasn't that... You had a story about biscuits. Was it It was like a story you wrote about a cat or something?
Yeah.
We'll just talk about stuff and I just find it interesting.
Yeah. I don't even remember. How did we ever start talking about that?
I have no idea.
All right. So when I had to be in probably like 5th grade. We had to write this like report that was to be submitted for some kind of like state purposes. And then the best ones were going to be like printed in this magazine.
Okay.
And so like everybody wrote like, you could write about anything. You could like do like a book report. You could just literally write about like your day.
Okay.
It didn't matter. There was no parameters. So I wrote this story about how my cat got ran over by the mailman.
Is that code?
So no, my cat's name was Biscuits.
Okay.
By the way, that's a fucking great name for a cat.
Yeah.
I love that. If somebody goes like, this is an animal's name, Biscuit. What animal is it? You say cat. Like that's just, like what I go to. I fucking love that name.
Yeah, so I ended up writing this story, and it was like pretty graphic. I mean, if I remember right, too, it was like, you know, he got decapitated. Its head was like stuck to the tire.
He's been a degenerate his entire life.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, you're born this way.
I mean, like Becky wrote about like summer vacation. I wrote about I described like the cat's head like going around this tire, man.
You've had a file your entire life.
So anyway, but the thing is that I turned this shit in, and next thing I know, they're like, "Hey, this paper was amazing. We're gonna publish it."
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is just
This dude's jacking off this across the country, man. They love this shit.
oh man. So actually, it is. We have I think it's my mom's got it. I think, but we have like a magazine of papers, and in there is that story about Biscuits getting decapitated by the mailman.
Yeah.
Which was just a great. I wish I had the paper still, but they like took it and like they sent it in, so now I can't even like read it. And I'll have to. I'll be cleaning out Diane's closet when she dies.
Yeah.
Once I find it, I'll update you.
Please,
Yeah.
because let me tell you, I have spent hours Google searching this.
Oh, yeah.
Because he gives like, I think it was this website
Oh,
and like,
fuck.
and yeah, and like
Well, no,
just
it was the name of a magazine. Because back
Yeah.
then, their internet wasn't even shit.
Yeah.
So
right.
So we tried. I Googled what I thought the name of the magazine was.
yeah, and just try to find it just to see if somebody had uploaded it.
Oh, I wish. How great would that be?
That would be fucking awesome, man. It might be on the dark web, too. You should check.
Yeah,
That fucking cat.
Biscuits.
Biscuits, man. Fucking forgot all about Biscuits.
If I ever-
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
R.I.P., man.
hell yeah! Shouts out,
Yeah.
shouts out, Biscuits.
Yo, dude, Spencer, when you were talking about being in a church and they come through and it's all weird with the whatever chanting shit.
Yeah.
I know, man. I don't ever go to church, and in the last 2 years, I had to go to church a couple times, man. I think a couple funerals, and then for whatever reason, I went to church like 4 times. I think in the last year and a half, 2 years. It's fucking weird, man. It makes you feel weird. I don't like it, and
So, like, I mean, the question for you.
I
then,
never
because-
had a candle blowout or some bullshit. Like that. That's good for me.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, so when we go, we always try to sit kind of in the back. But the reason I do that is because I don't participate in all their actions. Do you
No.
okay?
Yeah. Well, oh yeah. So I
don't get down and like kneel.
No,
and, like,
I don't.
I'll stand when they stand, I guess.
Yeah, I do that.
But that's
you
it.
don't have to do, especially if you're like with the Catholic churches.
Yeah.
You're not even allowed to. So even
Okay,
if you
see,
wanted to, you're not supposed to do that shit. I'm like, I wouldn't do that fucking shit.
Exactly. See, I didn't know it was a rule. I just was
No,
never
like-
gonna do it.
Yeah. So my daughter graduated from a Catholic school in junior high, middle school. So her graduation was that, and it was a full mass. And I'm like, oh yeah, great. This is fucking fantastic. Good for you. You know? I was happy about the graduation. I'm like, okay, yeah. I guess now I found Jesus. Yeah, good for me too. And then like, a couple funerals, and it's getting full mass, and the chanting and all that shit. And you go up and drink wine and eat bread and shit. And I'm like, yeah, you just let people go by, and then you sit back down, and then you're like, looking at your, I don't wear a watch, but let's get the fuck out of here. Like, if people paid as much attention to science and the environment and other stuff as they did in make-believe shit, like, maybe we'd have a better country.
I agree 1,000%. I agree 1,000%.
Yeah. And if we weren't so worried about, like, gays getting married, if that wasn't, like, such a fucking big deal, it's like, these fucking gays getting married is ruining America. But the environment, when the shit is fine. As long as we don't have abortions. The gays getting married is, I agree, like, it's fucking awful for everybody. No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I would give the church way more respect if they paid taxes, didn't rape kids, and they didn't hate love or freedom, or like if they loved, like,
Why do you hate love?
you know what I mean?
Hey, Catholic Church, why do you hate love?
No, but seriously, like if and I know really good people like who go to church, and they're really good people, and they don't give a fuck if you're Puerto Rican or black or gay. Those people are cool. If they make them a better person, but for the most part, it's like, this is fucking shit.
Well, it's like, I feel like the shittiest people I know are like the most religious.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just crazy to me.
Like, and it's an excuse. Like, no, I'm a fucking Christian, bitch. Yeah, I'm racist, but the Bible, you read the Bible like it says I can.
No, man.
It doesn't say that. I've never read it, but I'm sure it doesn't say you can
See,
be racist.
I'm not religious at all, but I have read the Bible a couple of times just because I'm curious about that kind of shit.
That's good, man.
That's
really
what
good.
smart people do.
I mean, it's been a while.
Seriously.
Fucking nerd.
It's been a while now. Like, I can't recite it or anything like
but
that.
the thing, I mean, when you look at like life-changing books in history, I mean, that's got to be like, I mean, like, just as a book, I respect it for sure.
It's no Lord of the Rings.
It didn't slap.
But what'd you think of it?
No,
Because we don't talk about religion here, by the way.
no, I mean,
Cooking show, bud.
it's kind of crazy because the only reason that I ever even read it in the first place was because I like to argue, and obviously we all know that.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things to do is argue with religious people. And so I even said to myself, I said, look, I remember reading this as a child, but I need to read it now because I need to be
That's smart,
aware.
man. No,
Yeah.
that's really
Talking
smart.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, back before like I had kids and stuff, or like even when Adrian was super young, one of my favorite things to do is go on Facebook and just watch, like, wait for like the bigots to come out, and then use their own logic against them, and just get in all kinds of battles. And now it's a little bit more. It's harder to get in those types of battles now with like how public and social media. Like,
Do you have a battle that you specifically remember that you? That was good.
Oh, man, I'm sure I do. Because that's the thing. Well, I mean, maybe even know. Because now what I do is if I feel like, hey, is this a fight I should get involved in?
Or are you getting trolled in? Or
I text you.
Yeah.
And I'll say, hey man, look, it's only 9:30. I have a shitload of work to do. But listen to the shit this motherfucker said on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm sure I do. I'd have to think about it. But I mean, really, my favorite one was back in the day was when people would use the Bible to like preach against, like what you said, like same-sex marriage. Like, oh, the Bible says it's wrong. It's like, all right, well, the Bible also tells you how to like sell people, and like rape is okay. So,
Yeah, right.
I mean, why are we just picking this one thing?
Yeah.
And so I used to love to spin that around back then, but now I feel like it's so hard. I got into a brief argument one time about football on Facebook with somebody I didn't know. And somehow 2 comments in, he was talking about raping one of my daughters. So it's like, you just don't fuck with weirdos out there. You know, you can't. And it's like, my shit's pretty locked down, but somehow you like, you know what I mean? It's just weird.
You never know. Yeah, you got a family, like you don't know who's out there.
I don't want people getting into my shit anymore. So now I pick my battles. It's the same reason why like you can't really honk at people in road rage anymore because they might have a gun.
I still do, but you don't know. Yeah,
I don't fucking know, man.
You can't even fight. I feel like you cannot fight. I wouldn't fight people anymore.
Nope.
Because you don't know. You know, it's an equalizer. You know.
Yeah, more and more people are carrying them too because they think they're going to be taken away.
Absolutely, that's so many people. I took concealed to carry. I didn't tell you the story. I could talk about it.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
a long story. It was a fucking nightmare. It was a scary, really scary thing. I'll talk about it another time. I have a job opportunity coming up working security for something. I'd never carry. I have my concealed to carry. I never carry it. I carried it a couple times when drama was happening. Some drama was happening. And I was like, I'm fucking locked and loaded now. But another episode I will talk about the concealed to carry class because it was scary, man. There's people who've never held a gun before, and now we're at the range together.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think if
we'll put it on a list because I definitely want to hear that story.
I honk at people all the time, and I'm me, and if I got an altercation with somebody on the streets, I'm watching. It doesn't happen. I haven't been in a fist altercation for years, and I wouldn't do it. I'm not an aggressive guy. I would only do it to protect myself or people around me. But if that happened, I would be worried because I would worry about getting shot because everybody's like, nobody wants to fucking fight.
Right.
Which, if you got to fight, you got to fight. And I'm fine fighting. I'm fine fighting. I'm fine using my fucking hands, whatever. But people are like, I'm not going to fight. You know, I work at a desk or whatever, or I'm a whatever. You know, whatever they're like, I'm a white guy in America, and I'm not gonna stand for this shit anymore.
He was talking about us.
Yeah, 100%. Because you're like, I would never fight. I think it's ridiculous.
No, I said that to be funny, but I'm whatever. So I have a gun. I got bullied in high school, and I'll start a fight, and if I start losing that fight, I'm shooting someone. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you started this shit. Now I'm shot. So I would never do that, but that kind of shit worries me, man. Like you can't. Back in the day, I'm sure you could be like, "Hey, what the fuck, man? You want to use your turn blinker?" And they're like, "Fuck you!" Like, "No, fuck you. Use your turn blinker, and you could probably fight." Now they say, "Well, you got a gun?" I got a gun. Like, I got a gun too. Like, that's Wild West of shit. The clock's we got 45 seconds. We turn our back. You take 10 paces. I don't know how you do it, but. Yeah, I'm not fucking around, man. I'm not getting shot by any of these crazy motherfuckers out here, man.
No, that's good, man. Shit's getting crazy out there.
Yeah. Gotta keep it safe, man. You just can't be fucking with people out there. You just never know, man.
No, you don't.
Never know.
You don't. But that is a story for another time, man. I can't wait to tell you that.
All right, we got 3 things left on this list.
I got something on my list too, homie.
All right, what do you want? Let's go to your list.
All right, so Spencer, I want to give you thanks big time because you years ago introduced me to Silicon Valley on HBO.
Oh, hell yeah.
And you, I introduced you to something too, I think, right? And I was like,
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. It doesn't matter. But you were like, hey, you have to watch Silicon Valley on HBO. And I'm like, yeah, man, like, I get it. You know, no, you have to watch it. I'm like, yeah, like I said it earlier in the podcast, I'm like, if somebody tells me to watch something, I'm like, yeah, how many seasons? My first question is, how many seasons is it?
You need to know the commitment.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
And I think you were like 4. I think back then it was like 4 seasons. And I was like, oh, that's a lot, you know.
They're not that long.
It's not that bad. That's not that bad.
And they're short episodes.
Yeah.
They're short episodes. So you said, I'll give you my HBO password.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I said, I gave you my Hulu password. And then you got it.
Mm-hmm.
So then I watched Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
I know the new season's coming up. And I love Silicon Valley.
It's
and
so
on
good.
top of that, I used your login. Taylor's login to watch ESPN and other stuff. Since then, I use another one from work that I pay for, through house dues. So I have
everything. But I still use yours for some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I loved, so it wasn't that long ago, maybe 2 months ago, like Spencer sends me a fucking text, and it was a screenshot of a text from Taylor, and it was like, hey, hey, bad news. It was a whole thing.
Because I got that text in a group chat of like I'm in with him and Taylor.
Yeah, because you do have our HBO still.
Yeah.
Everybody, I don't think that's a thing. Like, and it was like, hey,
because I had to use it because I couldn't use my mom's anymore because she had Dish. Because my mom never uses like login for anything, so I got her password, and then Dish and HBO were arguing. So I was like, "Hey man, can I jump back on your HBO?" He's like, "Yeah." Which I already had it. I never even had to ask. I just started using it, and so then she sent that text, was like, spicy whoever else has it.
Because we had to change the password.
Yeah.
And she was almost like nervous to tell me. It seemed like she was like, I had to log in. There was no other choice. I had to change it. She was like, you gotta tell everybody. That was good.
Shouts out T-Ferg for looking out,
no
man.
kidding,
That's great.
That's
fantastic.
but yeah, she sent him the text, and he sent me the screenshot, and it was like, hey, Spencer, haha, like, bad news. You have to. So whoever, I had to change the password for whatever reason. So tell whoever uses it, the password changed. This is the new password, and he sent it to me, and I was like, oh my god, that's.
I was thinking because I couldn't remember. I knew you had it.
Yeah.
And then I think she had sent it to you, and I was trying. If there's somebody else using it, the next time they can't get in, they'll let me know.
I don't know, how do they not have limits on? Because Netflix does for sure.
Yeah.
It'll tell me like. Netflix, I run into a problem, but Hulu, like you have my Hulu password. My sister, like other people who I think like HBO Go and some of those, they might not have limits. I don't know. Like you have 10 people watching it, maybe. I have no idea.
They have to. I'm sure at some point.
I know some of them do, and like I know Hulu, especially at least back in the day, used to like you could only if even like one person was watching it you couldn't watch at the same time. Even it was like
right.
It was like something like that, And
Netflix is like that now.
Is it?
I could have 3 screens watching it. And so if I try to log in, because like Hulu, you have my password. I don't think you use it, but somebody else uses it. I use your HBO, and then like I have like it's allegedly, and it's like that. So like my mom has my Netflix, and the boys have the Netflix, and then so like if for some reason there's more than 3 screens that says there's too many people watching Netflix. So-and-so account is watching, and it'll tell you what they're watching. So so-and-so account is watching The Office, so-and-so account is watching, like, America's or British grading cooking show. Yes. If you want more screens to be able to watch, you have to upgrade your account. I'm like, oh. It's cool that it shows you what people are watching.
I love that. I didn't know that. I think.
Oh yeah, Netflix does. I don't think any other.
We have like the top whatever tier one because I'm like kind of a snob like that. So it's like, look, I've got this 4K TV. I gotta have a 4K Netflix. So
for sure.
Because like I share my password with like my mom too. But I actually just read an article the other day that Netflix is like gonna start cracking down on that because of Disney Plus. Because they're trying to keep. They want all those subscribers instead of sharing it. They want you to buy it. So
fuck that.
I don't know. It did not say what that like is going to entail though. Yeah. Just that they're gonna be cracking down on.
We don't share ours with anybody. We just have
You selfish son of a bitch.
My mom's just out of luck though if it comes down.
No,
to it.
That's how it is, man. I think and that's the one thing, man. That's. Like I've said this before. Like, so you have you'd be in an airport, right? You can be in an airport bathroom, and then you're just doing your normal thing, like jerking off. And then the guy next to you's jerking off. But you're like, so what are you watching nowadays? Everybody has Netflix.
Yeah.
Everybody. So you can be like, oh, what you on Netflix? Half the people I think just use other people's Netflix accounts.
Yeah.
But everybody has Netflix.
Right.
If they start cracking down on that.
What do you think about Disney Plus?
I
know you're.
I know nothing about it.
Oh, I'm hyped on it just because obviously I've got kids, so just all those Disney movies and shows and everything is gonna be so huge. But then for just my nerd side, it comes with all of the Marvel shit and then all the Star Wars shit. So
yeah.
So is the Marvel shit gonna go away from Netflix then?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably. Dude. That's why they ended a lot of like the Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and all that shit.
I don't have young kids, so I don't know anything about Disney. I know they're doing the thing,
Owning the world.
It's going to be, I think, one of the biggest. I mean, this streaming service is nuts, and it's cheap so far.
Yeah,
so it comes out to be like $7 a month or something like that. So it's going to be competitive as hell, and plus, just think about how big Disney is. I mean, they're going to have everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix going to have a hard time competing. Netflix is already on my shit list. Spoiler alert, they're on my fuck yous. Because it's like every year they up my shit, and it's like I already pay the top tier. Stop upping my shit when you're only taking content.
Auto trailer bullshit. I fucking hate that.
And the rating system bullshit.
Yeah,
now.
they changed that too from the up down for the stars to the up down. Like
so dumb.
But all they keep doing is taking content too. It's like you keep upping the price, but then taking away the things that I would watch.
Right, Always Sunny. The only reason I got Hulu was because of it went from
Same
Netflix.
thing.
Yeah,
fuckers.
Yeah, I don't know. I never got into Disney movies. I didn't watch them as a kid, and then so I don't know. I don't know. I love Avengers shit, but I don't need it for that. But I don't know. I think Netflix is still killing it with stand-up comedy. Eventually, maybe Disney would get stand-up comedians to go there, and they might start making their own movies and shit. But right now, I would not leave Netflix for Disney. Like I don't have young kids though.
Right.
If I had young kids,
I mean, let's not get it twisted. I'm not leaving anything. I'm just adding. And that's the other problem is because we do actually pay. So we've got Netflix, we've got Hulu, we've got Amazon Prime, we've got HBO. So we pay for all this shit already.
Yeah. Well, if anything, it's good, man. It's demonopolizing. I don't know if that's a word. I'm coined it. Maybe we'll fucking count that. But no, like if anything, like most people I know don't have cable anymore. It's all internet TV, and everybody YouTube, the PlayStation one, whatever that one is. It's all internet TV. So the more you have, I think they have to drop prices. Like where I live, there's one cable company, and one's moving in, and so it's like they charge whatever they want. People are like, "Fuck you." Yeah,
our cable bill is ridiculous because we also have cable. Our cable bill, I think our cable bill and internet, like everything together, is like $100 to $200 or something like that a month. It's ridiculous.
Okay, yeah, it's crazy.
But I mean, listen, we don't have to pay for all that. We just, we choose to. And for me, it's about sports, and I know that there's probably by now better sports packages out there than what there was when I looked into it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just like, look, man, if I just even have this cable, the Huskers are always on TV, the Chiefs are always on TV.
Yeah.
I don't have to ever worry about trying to find it. It's right here.
Yeah.
So I just can't leave it.
Yeah. Yeah, sports is the big one. We dropped cable a few years ago, and sports was the only one, but I found ways around it through illegal.
Allegedly.
Friends and shit. But yeah, that was the only, for me, that was the only worry with sports. Especially football Saturdays and all that shit. I found a way around it, but yeah. But I think the more, because I don't know if what cable companies got to be doing. They got to be suffering because it's all internet channels and internet TV.
Yeah,
everybody has their own. There's all sorts of internet things. So I think the more you have, instead of being like with Disney and Hulu and Netflix and whatever the other ones are, the Sony and all that shit, instead of raising the prices, I feel like they have to be like, okay, well, we got to compete now.
Yeah.
Like there's the playing field. They might lower them. Hopefully, that makes sense. I don't know.
Well, I think actually even and I haven't looked into it since I read this article, but I had read that the intent at one point was to release a package that had like Disney Plus, some ESPN, and Hulu all together. Disney owns Hulu too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like they're going to be cornering this market.
Well, shit, because I got Hulu on Spotify. So now, I'll probably have to have. But I'll drop Hulu. Like that's no problem for me. The only thing I do on Hulu is Always Sunny. Like, that's it. They paired it with Spotify. I was already paying Spotify because I use that for work, for like workouts. I got playlists. So, like, with free Spotify, you can play whatever you want, but you can't be like, I want to hear this song. And if you have a playlist, you can, there's commercials and shit like that. And I'm like, working out with a group of us at work, they do not want to hear commercials. So I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So I think it's $12 a month, but it's for Hulu and Spotify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commercial free shit. But yeah, if that changes, I'll fucking adapt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah, adapt.
I'll fucking adapt.
Well, we're coming up on 3 hours. We've been going about 2:36. So I think I definitely would like to talk about It's Always Sunny, at least just like with the new season, and get what you guys think of, and then wrap up anything else. Since we're coming up, does that work for you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys thinking of this season so far? As of recording this episode, there's only been, is it 4?
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
Okay.
I took a picture of it the other day. So we just had the gang text. That was episode 5.
Yes. Okay, so 5.
Yep.
Okay, so as of taping of this, because who knows when this episode's gonna drop? So,
yeah, that's true.
because I like to save like a couple weeks.
5 weeks at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it'll be out a while. So, like episode 1, I think probably most of us all had the same thing where it was just kind of like,
Yeah.
like it's back. It was a good episode. There were parts where I did legitimately bust up laughing.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna get me at least one of those, like I respect the show so much they can get away with anything, with me. So that's how I felt about it. You guys were probably pretty much there.
I feel like they always kind of open with like a weaker episode. I mean, maybe it's like to set the bar low on purpose,
Which is
agree,
all
man.
right.
because
That's
always,
all right.
always seems like that. But
Yeah, no, I agree with that, man. Like just a couple seasons ago when they opened up with the fucking musical.
oh yeah,
stuff.
that's right.
Yeah, I'm like,
Musical.
like, everybody's so hyped and they come out with the musical. It probably worked. I only watched it once. Even the boys, like I watch it with the boys, and they're like, nah. They're fucking critics. They kids speak from the heart, man.
Yeah.
Sure they do.
So I'm like, no. Episode 2 was Thunder Gun 4 Maximum Cool.
Dude, that
Dolph
was so
Lundgren.
great.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember the hardest you laughed like at what spot in the episode?
Charlie.
Yeah.
When she's like, and me and Javi both laugh so hard, and he still brings it up. And she's like, well, no, he's not gonna hang dog anymore. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Dude, that was I lost it.
I don't think he said what the fuck.
No,
but
it was
just,
something. Yeah, he was when he dropped the F-bomb.
Yeah, it was when he dropped the
absolutely.
F-bomb.
Yeah, that's the exact.
Yeah.
Because I think it's because you kind of forget that they can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it always seems like it's out of nowhere.
Oh, right.
It makes it so much funnier.
Yeah. She's like, no, they're not
episode
gonna.
was great.
It might have been what the fuck. It was something like that. But yes, he said because Charlie can't read. Charlie's illiterate, and he didn't even know. Like he's so behind on what's going on in the story. But as soon as she was like, oh no, he's not gonna hang down anymore. He's like, what the fuck? That was for sure for me the best part.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that was great. That was great. What was the next episode?
Episode 3 was D-Day.
Oh,
And
yes.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think so far for me, Sweet D shines in this whole season, man.
Yeah,
She's so
she
good,
just
man.
gets
She's
shit
always
on.
so good. She's underrated, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, this is this one where they do blackface.
Yeah, when they
Because she
makes them do the play. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And they all have. At first, I was like, no. I'm like, oh yeah. They all have the they're conspiring
Right.
to get to not Congress, but the City Hall.
Yeah,
to do the
dude, I love
deal.
that side
Yes,
shot.
the side shit.
that's
Everybody has a side hustle, and nobody sticks to the plan.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's
and
exactly
they
what's
always
happening.
forget about D-Day.
Yeah,
That was so good.
It's so great.
no, I love that episode.
Season 14, right? It's season 14?
I don't know. I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. We'll call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's season
Sounds
14
good. Sounds good.
for sure. Episode 4 was the gang chokes.
That poor waiter, man. I'm glad he got a bigger part, man.
that was
You know what I
amazing.
mean? That,
I think it even just I was just gonna kind of think about it, but with that Thunder Gun one with the way that you could watch like that employee just kind of having this meltdown as
Oh,
the
yeah.
episode
Yes.
progresses, and then you come back to this waiter and you could see like it's like everything they touch just crumbles.
Yeah,
They
yes.
just ruined everything they interact
Yeah.
with.
Oh yeah.
That episode was so fucking good too, man.
Yeah.
This has been a solid season
Yeah.
aside from that opener, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was
Yeah,
still
to go,
a fine episode.
to go back
Yeah.
to the Thunder Gun one, that actress that played that, she was fantastic.
Oh yeah, man.
Dude, she crushed it, and that's like to me what like ties in those episodes. Like it's just
Oh,
so
yeah,
good.
man.
The suffering that
Oh,
they
Yeah,
put
it's believable.
on.
You can feel it.
Yeah, and she's like trying to sell them so hard. Like, no, this is it's 2019. Like, we don't do this anymore. Like, yeah, no, the hero is, and
Yeah,
yeah, like
he
this-
literally hands him a torch.
yeah, like no, like they're like no, yeah,
Forgot about that.
oh,
Dude, fucking solid. But then I think this last one where they were at the zoo and they could not get their shit together.
Dude, the texting,
the
it was
Yeah.
so fucking
with
great.
that reoccurring, like D just keeps coming in too late.
Yeah.
That was just killing me. You're right. I think you're right, man. She
Dude,
has kind of been the hero.
she has crushed it every episode.
oh yeah, man. And I love it. Like they always hammer D. Like she's always wrong, and
Yeah.
she's like late, and yeah, no, sweet D. Like, okay, so for me, it's always Charlie. It's between Charlie and Frank, Danny DeVito. Danny
Okay.
DeVito is the man to me.
Yeah.
And I love Danny DeVito. So it's always between them. But Sweet D, for me this season, Sweet D is like she's up there. She's
Yeah.
competing. She's so good. Everybody on the show to me is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sweet D this season for me is she's crushing it. The only thing I didn't like is I don't even remember what episode it was, but when they went to the school and they changed the principal from the school, it was the guy from Kids from the Hall. He was in a few episodes. Like they always bring,
It's not ringing a
I
bell
know,
at
yeah,
all,
I know,
man.
Me neither.
so they bring people back. Like so the waiter from whatever it was some fucking, you should know, it's an Italian joint.
Yeah,
He would-
I'm not good like with show names and stuff. Like I know
Okay.
like what you're talking about.
So
but, like,
so the guy from the restaurant,
yeah,
they brought him back. He was in the Super Bowl, and then they brought him back in this season.
Mm-hmm.
When they went to the school earlier, it was the D-Day. It was in D-Day. So back in the episode where D is a substitute teacher and Charlie's the janitor,
okay,
they go to the school. And the principal of the school is a guy from, I don't know his name. He's from Kids in the Hall, which was a show from a long time
okay,
ago. It was a
okay.
sketch comedy show. He's
Yeah.
a legend. They brought him back. Last time they went back to him, or that school, was the gun fever, where they go back to the school and they have the debate, Mac and Charlie, where they're like, no, a sword works better. No, a gun
Okay.
works better. Like, watch this.
yeah.
And he's like, you guys can't bring a gun on the property. When they went to D-Day, they went back to the school, and it was a completely different guy. And he did fine, but it was a different guy. I
Okay.
didn't like that because the guy...
it's just not ringing a bell
Yeah,
like
okay.
the different
No.
phrases. I mean, I believe you. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
no,
faded.
it was the same school, but it was the guy who's the principal. Remember from...
Okay, yeah,
And they-
I know the actor that you're
and
talking
they
about.
even bring it up. They're like, yeah, when you were here, you
Yeah, because I remember them
Yeah.
saying it. I just don't think that it registered.
you scrubbed the juggalo in the bathroom and whatever. But anyway, so that guy, yeah, he's from Kids in the Hall. Like, he's a great actor. But I didn't like that. Maybe he's sick or he just didn't want to be in this season. But they changed characters completely, which they don't usually do. Minor thing.
I didn't catch it. So I'd have to
Oh,
go
I
back.
caught it. Big fucking time. Real boner killer.
Yeah, man. And then the texting that we had already talked about. It's just been a great season so
Yeah.
far. And what are there? Do you know how many episodes are there? 10?
Right now, I looked up yesterday. I took pictures of I screenshotted it. So the next episode is The Janitor Always Mops Twice. That's episode 6. Episode 7 is The Gang Solves the Global Warming, which is great because
They did one of those before, right?
yeah, they did The Gang Solves the Gas Crisis, and they did The Gang Solves the North Korea Crisis, and they did The gang solves the trash crisis. Maybe that was the one with the.
I thought they had
trash
done
union.
something with like that.
They've done a few of those.
Yeah.
They might have done ISIS or not ISIS, but an Arab one too, mate. but yeah. So the gang solves the global warming. They've done a few of those already. So that's gonna be fantastic. Episode 8 is a woman's right to chop. Episode 9 is Patty's has a jumper. And then episode 10 is waiting for Big Mo.
Patty's jumper. Who do you think's up like gonna jump off and like commit suicide? Is that how? That's how I take it.
That's how I
Exactly.
take
That's
it.
how.
Yeah. Who do you think it is? Cricket?
Cricket hasn't been in the season yet, right?
No.
Fuck, man.
He's coming up though.
He's got to.
Yeah.
No, he has to.
God, it's probably harder to get him because he's got to go through so much makeup every time.
Yeah,
now.
dude,
It's just so fucked up, man.
worse.
Every time you see him, every episode adds like another hour of prosthetics.
For sure. Do you have a favorite like this season? Is it D for you as well, or?
Yeah, I would pick D for sure. She's just crushing it. I feel like none of these actors really get enough credit for how great their performances
Yeah, they're
are.
all so great.
Yeah, and I feel like nobody really ever talks about it. Like, I don't know if this show, like, does this show win awards? I feel like I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. It shouldn't. I just don't know if it doesn't because it's like so offensive,
Yeah,
like,
that's what I
or
don't
it
know.
can look. But I mean, they do. That's the thing is when they do the offensive stuff, like they do it in great comedy. It is so funny. Like I said, like with the whole blackface, I just remember seeing it. I go, I can't believe they're doing this, and I am loving it because it's who that person and that character is, and it's great. The writing in it, the acting, everything is just a fantastic show.
No, it's one of my favorites. I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. I'm just gonna hope that it's on forever.
Yeah, I hope they just keep going, and I think that like I think I sent you an article where it says they'd be down if, and I just want everybody there. I don't want them to
Right.
feel like forced, but as long as it stays great. But yeah, I don't know why it doesn't win like all the awards for anything. So, but. Well, guys, we are about 2 hours and 48 minutes in. So, yeah, I know. Is there anything else pressing that we want to go before we get to like our shouts out and fuck yous or anything else? Well, I just want to say thanks to Degenerate, for joining us, man. It's always a fucking blast. These
Absolutely,
podcasts
man.
fly by,
Yeah.
I feel like we got some serious shit, some really, really funny shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I appreciate it. Definitely come back on. And we did, people, we are taking ideas. This is episode 59, season 3, episode 59. And you did, the degenerate that you did bring up, like, if we had anything planned for episode 69. That's in 10 episodes.
Exactly.
So we'll be taking some ideas. Do you have anything off the top of your head?
Yeah, I mean, foremost, you guys could just 69 right on the podcast. I think the listeners would really love that.
I mean,
Everybody loves hard slurping.
yeah, dude, that could be our first
Everybody.
AMSR podcast.
Right,
Just get the proper
Everybody likes
mics.
Good hard slurping.
Yeah.
I know I do.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep that in mind. But right now, that's number 1 because that's all we got. So
That's all we got. Yeah. So far, that's the game plan.
I feel like it's either that or maybe you hire sex workers. Or,
yeah,
is that on the table?
We
Yeah.
don't, Spencer. We don't have the funding right now for
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
sex work.
but if anybody
people
knows,
want to donate money,
yeah. But seriously, if anybody happens to know a dominatrix who would love to come on a podcast
Yeah.
that gets 10 downloads, we would 100% interview. I think
For
that
sure,
we would have to do our research, but
Yeah.
I would want to be professional.
Yeah,
but we would have
we're
a
pros,
little
man.
person.
Of course we would do
How
that.
great would that be?
yeah.
So funny. He's so good.
So send us in. You gotta keep sending in your questions and stuff. So,
Yep.
but yeah, man, just do appreciate it. So I'll go first if that's cool with the shouts out and fuck yous.
Hell yeah.
All right. So for shouts out, I have to all the marine biologists out there.
Could I just
Love
real
that.
quick? Can I
Love
just
that.
say that whole story might be one of my favorite things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard, like silently, that my
You guys
jaw
are both
hurt.
Yeah,
laughing so hard.
no,
The
dude,
rest of the
I'm
day.
glad, dude. That's my favorite part. we're gonna go back once this is done. I want to find that.
I can't wait.
It's
You guys are
gonna
both
be great.
laughing so hard, man.
Dude, you're
Amazing.
killing,
I love that,
dude.
though. I love that.
Dude, you doubled down. It was great. Next shouts out is to Gorilla Pimp.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, I had Gorilla Pimp too.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Yeah, probably. Speaking of rest in peace, my next one is shouts out to Biscuits.
Biscuits.
And then I had shouts out to T-Ferg for making sure everybody's getting that HBO sign in lockdown.
She takes care of us.
Just good looking out, man. I feel like I'm a part.
Man.
Dude, sometimes our group chat is just like me and them. I feel like it's just weird. And I only have one fuck you, and that's to kid fuckers. I think that's obvious.
Oh, that's a great
Fair
one.
enough, man.
Yeah. You want to go next? We'll have the...
Yeah, we go. Yeah. All right, so first off, I just want to say I love both you guys, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say this has been a great episode. Spencer, thank you for coming here again, man.
Love it.
You seriously, you could be on the podcast. I love having you on here, dude. You're fucking tremendous.
Thank you.
That's 100% real. That's not sarcastic, man. Thank you for coming. Pags, I fucking love you too, bro.
Hell yeah, man.
Shouts out, it's a long list again. It's just,
Yep.
shouts out Twitter Fox.
Hell
Shouts
yeah.
out De Leons.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shouts out JPEG. Shouts out T-Ferg. And shouts out for Chemists. Because they support us and help us with shit. Shouts out Jensen Ackles. My fuck yous are to Colts, Cub Scouts. Some shit I can't even read. And then fuck yous to churches.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
All right, Degenerate.
All right, so my shouts out. My first one was to body cams.
Hell yeah.
Great.
Shouts out body cams. Second one was shouts out Miss Pat.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, she's,
Big shouts
I know
out.
she's probably listening. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Listen, dude.
The Pat Down was her podcast. We didn't call it out earlier.
She would have been
so.
2 hours and 57 minutes in. We talked about it for 30 minutes. She's like, oh, yeah, no shouts out? Yeah, fuck you. That's my last time I'm listening to this. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. If you guys haven't listened to her, find her Joe Rogan episode. Find her podcast, which is on the Degenerate.
She's also This Is Not Happening. If you really want to get to know her, that's a
it's
great
amazing.
story that she tells.
Then my last shout out was to the Kelseroni.
Respect.
So then my fuck yous were to Colts. I had fuck you to Netflix and fuck you to Mailman.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man.
Biscuits deserve better.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes. Rest in peace.
Those soulless fucks that killed your fucking cat. I hope they rot in hell.
Oh my god. Oh, fuck. Life is simple. Don't be a dick. Night, sluts. Motherfucker, yeah, yeah.